What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Beyond the Splattered Graves. Do not worry, ladies and gents, I am back. So,
He's
we let
alive.
the inmates run the asylum for an episode. We skipped a week. Now we're here. No, I'm kidding. You guys did it excellent. I was so proud of you,
I had no
gentlemen,
idea what I was doing,
for
man.
running it. I
Yeah.
watched the messages. I saw
And
them.
we're back on my channel now. It was on your channel, Evan?
It was on mine last time.
Yes,
yeah.
Okay.
it was.
We got
So
a guest
things-
today.
We do.
sure do.
We do have a guest. Yes, we do. But before we bring out our lovely guest here, gentlemen, how are we doing? What has been going on? Alex, what's going on over Beyond the Void?
I've got so many videos that I got to do on YouTube that YouTube won't be able to handle them, and means I will be getting shit algorithms. So literally, if you want to find out about new movies, come to my channel and check out my playlist for Fantasia Film Festival, and also the Fright Fest that's going to be coming up on the 24th. There's like 6 movies I got to drop on that day. So I might spread that out a little bit. So look out for that. I got a new interview with Charles Band, actually, that I just did. That's up now. It was interesting talking to him as a kid and a fan of Full Moon when I was a little kid. It was like a dream come true in a way. So
Hell yeah, no, I love seeing that. I love hearing all the good stuff. Yeah, we're also attending Fright Fest with you there, sir. So we'll definitely have to be chatting about some of these movies. But Evan, what is going on over in the graves, my boy? How are things going?
I'm not doing any of the cool festival stuff that you guys are doing. There's some really cool shit that we've talked about behind the scenes that sounds very, very fun with these things. But yeah, I'm not doing any of that. Just finished up a video on Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula today.
Oh, yeah.
That will be coming out tomorrow. Unless you're a patron or YouTube member, it's out now.
I saw your short too, by the way.
Which one?
Oh, YouTube, blah, blah, blah. That video, that was pretty
I
funny.
don't even remember what that was. I've been in a haze. I finally finished the Elden Ring DLC, so I've
There
been
you
doing
go.
other things in my free time. Finally saw Cuckoo. I was behind on that, and I saw that the other day.
We haven't even talked about that yet. What'd you
Cuckoo?
think?
No.
It's so wild. I liked it.
Oh, I was
Okay.
going to say, I was like, you should.
No, I mean I really liked it. I just mean it was insane.
Yeah.
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 Like, that movie is ridiculous. But
It's
I
just
know
cool. That's what
yeah,
it is.
I
I think it's
enjoyed
just
it.
cool.
I didn't
It's-
love the second half as much as the first.
Really?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
felt like it was pretty consistent for me. Honestly, like of
There was a
the
drop for me.
3 big ones last month, I honestly have to say I think Cuckoo was my favorite. I
What
liked
were
it
they?
more than Longlegs. I liked it more than Maxine.
Yeah,
I
Longlegs would be
I
my
was just
favorite
sitting
out
there
of
just like I got absorbed by that movie.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was. Like it was
Yeah.
just so strange. It was so up my alley. I just really walked out of that in love with it. And the funniest thing about it is we got sent screeners for Fantasia, and due to my schedule and having a toddler, I had to watch that on my phone. And
Nice.
the screening room was not formatted for mobile,
No.
so I couldn't.
Yeah.
If I flipped it to horizontal, it was cutting half the screen off. So I had to watch that movie in a box about this big.
That's awesome.
Which
Like,
it was such a
fucking
strict
terrible.
screener too.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
you had 2 chances to do it, which is
Mhm.
like, oh fuck, because like most of the time one of them fucks up.
Mhm.
And so like the second one, it's like, oh great, well I better just watch it on here, I guess.
In a Violent Nature, I had to open like 8 times for it to
Oh
work.
geez.
That was a rough one. Yeah, so it's been fairly smooth. I'm just trying to get prepped for October stuff now. I'm trying to make sure that I'm ahead of things this year because I'm always stressed in October because I never prep anything.
Yeah,
Guys,
we,
also I want to mention to everybody here, if you ever want to help out in the channel here, I was going to post everybody's like individual like donation things, which I'll do in the future, but I just didn't know. And I was like, fuck, dude, it took me forever. But if you ever want to donate, you can. You don't have to. It's just, we are just here to talk about fun things and enjoy ourselves. And we like doing it. But if you ever do, there is a thing down there or the super chats or whatever. I'm just mentioning it because there was a couple people that did actually write out to me last time. So
yes.
what's
sir.
up, Brian?
Yeah, I don't have any memberships or anything. I'm not as cool as these guys yet. All I have are super chats and super thanks, I think, set up. But once I can actually dedicate some time to making cool extra content,
Right.
then you guys will get it for sure. Because
Fun.
I always feel bad because people ask about that. Like they always ask, like, "Oh, you guys have Patreon and stuff?" It's like, no, because I don't have anything to give you. You get all of me is what I can throw on that channel, and I'm barely doing that. I'm barely keeping it going. Like it's
Well,
nuts,
speaking
but
of content, we got a guy here that pumps them out like 5, 6, 7 times a day. This
We
guy's
do.
a fucking champion of like content.
yes, and this gentleman actually
opposite of me.
comes
You never
from
upload.
across the
You're
pond,
champion
and
to
I
me,
don't
baby.
mean over in England. I'm talking about this guy. He runs on a completely separate app than we do.
Yeah,
This is a TikTok fella.
we're
So
crossing the streams.
we're crossing the streams like they did in Ghostbusters. Yes, sir. I got that reference. So why don't we bring on the great Chuck, your movie guys?
So
What's going on?
why don't we
Welcome in.
What's going on, gentlemen? How are you? You can hear the echo?
Yeah, we're hearing it. Guys. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to get rid of it because I was going to try to put it live on my TikTok.
Right.
Oh.
But I would have to set it up in another room. But whatever it is, what it is.
Yeah.
You could do it over your shoulder.
I mean,
That's
I
what I see
could,
people
but
doing.
I just figured maybe next time it would drive some people over your way too if I could help with that.
Always appreciated. Always appreciated. But Chuck, thank you, sir, for joining us. How are you doing today? What is going on in the horror movie world on Chuck, your movie guy?
What's going on in the horror movie world? First and foremost, thanks for having me. Like, I'm very grateful to be here and appreciative to meet again and meet Evan for the first time. I bullshit with Alex, pretty frequently. Nothing, man, just all things horror. Like, I live, breathe, read. I wake up in the morning, have a cup of coffee, use the restroom and read about horror, and that's it. That's just what I do, man.
Blood in your coffee?
No, it's coconut cream.
A substitute.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. Well,
he's in it to win it, guys. Trust me, he definitely is in it.
I know your channel has become one of my favorites on TikTok, especially since we collaborated on Alex's channel a few months back. We were talking about everyone's favorite film, The Coffee Table. No controversy there. That was a fun stream. And ever since then, I followed you, and I pick up so many odd little films that I feel like I'm always up on stuff. I always feel like I know what all the good little stuff is. I know what it is. And then every time I open your page, it's like, oh, there's something I've never heard of. Let me check this out. So
dude, he's a fucking machine.
You've become a resource to me, sir. So I want to ask you, just in the little interview portion here, what got you started with all this, Chuck? How did you get into TikTok and reviewing movies and everything?
Dumb luck. I have a lot of friends and stuff that, like, for my whole entire life have said, you have all this information, like, why don't you do a YouTube or do something like this? Because, like, I retain information at a rapid rate for some weird reason. Like, I remember, like, little bit actors in movies, and like, it's not horror, but, like, do you know who Luis Guzman is?
Yeah.
Yep.
Changa and Carly, like guys like that. Like, it's just like a little bit guy, but I know every movie the guy was in. You know what I mean? So, like, people have always said that. And then whenever I was on, I had a regular, like, I was Apple user 944322. Like, I had no name. I just watched other people's content, and I came across other people's videos. Like, I watched a guy named Ricky666's videos, and who's now my friend now, Sydney from Horror Chronicles. And it inspired me one day. I woke up one day and I made a fucking video, and that was all she wrote. And, like, once I got a little bit of traction, I became, I don't want to say obsessed, but we'll say mildly obsessed.
I think we all get that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it's fun. It's nice to just talk about shit that you love. You know what I mean?
Totally.
One thing, guys, for those of you who are new to Chuck, basically, he's one of those guys that he doesn't care about secrets of, like, being successful. He just, like, straight up is like, this is how you should do it. Because some people can do it, some people can't, I guess.
I don't know. I think anybody can, and I tell everybody that. Like, I think that I'll give anybody any advice whatsoever, because if everybody can win, that would make me happy. It's just sad that that's not how it's going to be. But, I tell everybody that if you're into content creation, the video that you don't make is the one that can change your life. So, like last Saturday, I was done for the day. I wasn't going to make a video. I threw a video together. It literally took me 15 minutes to make it, and it astronomically changed the format of my platform.
The video that let me turn this into a job was one that I almost trashed because I thought it was just a complete mess.
Right. And it's crazy because the ones yep. I'll spend like an hour and a half making a video with all these great edits and all this shit. And I'm like, yeah, this is the one. It'll be like 542 views. Dude. And then I'll come home from work, be all dirty, put a clean shirt on, try to hide, because I do construction, try to hide the dirt under my fingernails, throw one together, and then they go through the moon. It's no rhyme or reason to it whatsoever. It's insane.
Yeah, I mean, we had our first video pop off and hit 100K just last month, and we've never had anything reach that limit, and it was an idea that I just had for a while, but I never actually executed on it, and finally just did it, and it took off, and I was just like, okay, I guess I make lists now, so this is what I do. So but no, we're still trying stuff. We just did a hot takes video for the first time. That was a lot of fun, so I hope to do more stuff like that. But I feel like that's also a big part of it, is just trying new things. Always be trying new stuff.
I do want to say to anyone watching who has watched my videos, I want to thank you guys, because Sinister hit 600K today.
Hell
or
yeah,
yesterday.
brother, there you go.
So, that's awesome.
Thank you all for watching.
I think we should
video.
Also mention,
can you buy me a new computer, Evan?
We have the Merkins in the chat. Is anybody here familiar with the Merkins?
Fuck yeah.
I think I heard of those guys.
I love the Merkins, and shout out to Freddie and to Josh Cole, who's Leatherface for the Merkins.
That's fucking awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
I've watched
this
them for
is
a long time.
YouTube legends right here. Yes, we had the honor of interviewing him a few months back. Just genuine, one of the most genuine people on the platform for sure.
That's rad.
Absolutely love him.
Yeah, that's really
cool. And we also have a couple other people in here too. We should also mention Slasher Talk is in the chat as well as Room for Scream. Absolutely love her content. And she start off on TikTok, or was she something up? Because I found her on YouTube.
Yeah.
So
Gigi TikToks, and she does YouTube and Instagram. They're both going Slasher Talk and Gigi. They're both coming to Fantastic Fest.
Hell yeah. No, we'll be there virtually. But I am jealous because I do want to get out there one of these years. I can't believe I'm not doing it the year Terrifier 3 comes out, but one of these days, especially when my toddler is no longer a toddler, I'll get out there. So we'll make things easier, and we'll make it shake.
Shout out to Necromechanical or Necromechanimal.
I always thought it was mechanical, and I realized last stream that it was mechanimal.
I have a seizure when I read it every time.
Yeah.
We also have our boy Silhouetted in the chat as well. How's it going? Frankie Media has also popped in there saying what's up. But
he's been very vocal on the channel lately. Thank you.
Heck yeah. And I think
according to Seth here too. Look at that.
What
up, buddy? That's not an Arizona native right there, folks.
Before we directly hop into the news, I wanted to bring something up. This is kind of important to me and a few other folks in the horror community. So there's a movie coming out this week called Stream. It's coming to theaters. It's got a limited run, and we got a chance because of the folks over at Fuzz on the Lens. They've worked on the Terrifier films. They're a lot of the people who work behind the scenes on those films helped make this movie. And this thing is going, it's got a theatrical run. It's super great that they were able to get that. It's honestly kind of insane for them because they crowdfunded this film. It's the dream. They made a post the other day basically talking about how some of their screenings are getting overtaken, and that is primarily due because of the success of Alien, which we enjoyed Alien, well, most of us, but it's unfortunate for them because they want to clear space to make more screenings for that. And if there's not enough tickets sold or no tickets sold, they're basically taking away that blocking from them. So I am really wanting to sit here and just encourage everybody, if you can, go support this movie. It's going to be in theaters this weekend. I believe the primary days for most people in the States are going to be Wednesday and Thursday. But on top of that, I also feel to kind of put my best foot forward here. I was talking with Luke, and we want to give away 2 tickets to see Stream. So if you guys throw in the chat, hashtag Stream Tickets, I'm going to drop it in the chat here for you. If you just drop that in starting right now, towards the end of this stream, I will let it run and we'll select a winner, and then I will get in contact with you, and you will have 2 Stream tickets on us. I really believe in this movie. I believe in this team. I'm not just saying that because we have seen the film. I think it's a really, really bang up slasher movie. And just so you know, I'm not biased. A little slow to start, but once things get moving, it's great. And the biggest thing that I love about this is that it's filled with celebrity cameos from all kinds of horror legends, but they don't waste them. They're not just like, oh, I'm here because, you know, it's me. I was in that horror movie 30 years ago. They're actually characters. So it's one of those things I absolutely love. So I just dropped that in there for you guys. If you just throw in hashtag Stream Tickets.
Wait,
and,
Evan, what the fuck? Did you do that?
I didn't do that.
I did that. So yeah, it's because we're on your channel. So
that's right. Okay, I was like, what the fuck? I didn't type that shit.
For any of you who are in Canada, I'm checking right now. It looks like the 2 dates that I'm finding are Thursday the 22nd and Sunday the 25th.
Okay.
So those are the 2 dates that I'm seeing available, at least for me.
So you were going to buy on your own here. That's very
I already
nice.
did.
You're in Canada?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm going on Thursday night. I already have ticket spots, so I'm looking forward to seeing it, and I think we should all go.
Well, I was talking about him. He said he'd offer 2 tickets.
Sorry.
But yes, that's very impressive, Evan. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it's one of those films where it's like when I saw that post from the director and some of the people behind it, they were like, yeah, we really need people to buy tickets because we're getting kicked out of our screenings. Like just because ticket sales are low or they're not as filled up as like what Alien's doing right now. I was like, man, that is horrible. Like I can't believe that.
Point right here. I mean, the name alone is one that is very difficult. That's like buried.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I feel like really hurt us when it came to, because we were the first channel, like they told us we were the first people to put up a review for it. And I thought, wow, what an opportunity, what an honor. And, you know, it's like it's a mid-tier performing video on our channel. 1, because I don't think a lot of people know about the movie yet. But 2, it's because, again, Stream is one of those things where I was like, yeah, I can see how that can get lost in the shuffle. It's not so easy for the algorithm to kind of, you know, pull that out of any other streaming. It's like it's going to be tough, but I do believe in this movie. I believe in this team, and I think it's totally worth your time. I think it's a lot of fun. It's got some brutal ass kills. Damien Leone is behind all the effects, so it's like, you know, you're going there for the brutality and the kills. And our buddy Jake, we were just talking about it, he went to the premiere. So
yeah, he had some dope pictures from that.
No, was it Splatter Talk? Maybe
they won't send it to me. I tried.
Really?
I tried Fuzz. I tried Stream Franchise because I really want to see it and I really want to support it.
So weird.
I reached out to him. Justin seen it.
I know Justin did. And I think Seth did.
Slasher
too.
seen it. Seth, I don't think Seth's seen it. Sydney's seen it, and
weird.
I think Gigi got it, and I think that a couple people have it, you know what I mean? But I'll support it either way, you know what I mean? But sure. I shot my shot and it's fine. But it's something I really want to see. I just think I wish they would have marketed it better because I do think there's a lot of promise behind it from what I heard, because it did kind of get lost in the shuffle because I posted a couple, you know, just quick clip videos on TikTok that like with the poster and said like upcoming thing, and like just nobody has heard of it, which is sad because they put a lot of effort into it, but it is what it is.
Maybe I'll try to catch it on Thursday or something.
Yep, according to Seth, says haven't seen it, but seeing it in theaters Thursday. Thank you.
I saw him post a video about it, and I think that's why. That's why, because he was talking about it.
And yep, so Slasher Talk, Justin, you guys said he saw it. So yeah, I think he can. I haven't seen his video yet on it, but I assume that it's probably very positive, just like ours. Because, like, again,
Yeah, he
it's
liked it
not
a lot.
it's not breaking the mold as far as slashers go, but it's got a lot of really fun ideas. And I'm not gonna lie, the third act goes hard, and I love
You
it.
got a
Like, I think
poster?
the ideas they do are absolutely insane. So,
You got a poster handy, like we can post so they can see it?
oh yeah, I mean, like, I have one, like, in the chat. You mean I can pull it up?
Yeah, just post it so that people can see it.
Yeah.
That helps because, like, then when you see it online, you're like, oh, hey, I saw that before.
Yeah. So this is the. Dude, I'll just open it on IMDb.
It does look cool. I mean, a lot of times when I see a lot of those movies that put a lot of like those like legends in, I always get a little hesitant because it's like they're kind of like maybe, you know, but
and that was my biggest fear. Like, going into this was like, you know, I appreciate the guys behind it. I know that their intentions are good, but I'm like, are they just going to have a bunch of cameos in here? And yeah, I will admit, with the cast that large, there's a handful that are just like, you know, in for a minute or two and then, you know, they go. But the fact that most of them, almost the entirety of the legacy cast that they bring in is like in the movie is fucking awesome. And it's great. And I don't want to say too much more than that because I don't want to, one, build up false expectations, but also I don't want to, you know, give anything else away, because I've now been
it's not
this for about a
coffee
month.
table like that, right?
no.
You made us believe it was good. I was like, it was to me. God damn it!
I still thought it was great. I did your spoiler review there, sir. I said a lot of nice things about it. I just said
that movie made me mad.
I was gonna say, like, Barbara Crampton, is she in it? I can't remember. Or did she produce it?
I don't want to say.
Okay, I'm pretty sure because, like, I think I saw her some promotion with it, and she's been in everything lately. So
I don't, because
I literally just watched You're Next, and she was in it. I was like, oh yeah.
I don't know who's been announced and who hasn't, so I don't want to say any of exactly
for
who's
stream
in the legacy cast. Yeah, I don't want to say who's.
There's
been announced.
I read an article on Bloody Disgusting. It pretty much has them all
everybody.
In it. For the most part,
there's
Tony Todd, Barbara Crampton.
Yeah,
Kane
there's
Hodder,
there's a surprise cameo in that, and I don't want to give it away. So there is one that I don't think they've announced, but I don't.
We should tell people what it's about so that way they know.
Oh well, I mean, like, essentially the movie is about a family that they're kind of going through some struggles. Their kids are getting older. They're kind of attached to their technology, so they're like, why don't we go to this Great Wolf Lodge-esque kind of hotel, and we're going to have ourselves a nice family weekend. You know, something simple, something nice. And, well, they picked the worst hotel to do it in. Because, so Justin says there is one surprise that has not been announced. That's what I figured. Cool. So, they go to this Great Wolf Lodge-esque place, and they check in. Everything seems nice and normal. There's a lot of other guests there. You know, hijinks are ensuing. And it turns out that the place has been overtaken by a group who are putting on a little game show where they have 4 killers who are going around this hotel murdering people and essentially scoring points for who has the most creative and brutal kills. And it's absolutely insane. Like, it takes some twists and turns. I will say Danielle Harris actually gets some time to be a real character, because the last movie I saw her in, she was plastered all over it, and it was like she was in it for like all of 5 seconds, and I was like, are you serious? That's all you did? And like, she's an actual person in this, and I enjoyed that quite a bit. And I mean, I really think that, again, they treat the legacy cast with a lot of respect in this flick, and it's so worth your time. Hey, Cynthia, what's going on? Cynthia's like in the chat. Everyone
checking in at the hotel, and you realize the AVN Awards are just downstairs.
There you go. Well, now that I've kind of gotten on my little soapbox there, again, if you want to enter to win tickets to stream, just go ahead and put in hashtag stream tickets, and
Cynthia, you should do
grab them. And why don't we hop into some of this news here? So we got some pretty big stuff. Do you guys want to start with? I think the big story was Creature from the Black Lagoon this week. But do we want to maybe start with the story that we were going to cover last week, which is the Halloween games. Evan, do you want to kick us off with that?
Yeah, I'd love to talk about those.
All right. Go ahead.
It's been pretty public knowledge that John Carpenter is a bit of a video game nerd for a long time now. He made his bank from the movies and then kind of went into a little hole and played video games and made music, and he's just hanging out. It's a pretty great way to live your life. And it just got announced that I had a feeling something was coming because I got an email from some Halloween portal thing, and they were basically like trying to ramp things up a little bit with this like Halloween newsletter that they were running. So I had an idea that there was some announcement coming. I was wondering if it had something to do with that TV show that we've heard a bit about, but it turns out that what we've actually got is 2 new Halloween video games from the developers of Evil Dead, the game, with apparently very direct involvement from John Carpenter. Now, we've seen one of them, and it's just a generic 2D platformer, which baffled me to see that.
I want to play it.
I mean,
know.
Sure. It just looks like a standard 2D platformer with a Halloween skin on it. It looks fun. I'll probably try it out. But I want to know what this other thing is. I don't know if it's going to be another asymmetrical horror game. I think it's at this point it's inevitable that it's going to happen for Halloween because it's been happening for every fucking franchise. They're all getting these asymmetrical horror games, which I don't know. They're fun for like 2 weeks, and then I kind of just forget about them forever. Like I haven't played Texas Chainsaw Massacre in ages, and I was having a blast with that game when it came out.
I read somewhere and seen a video that it was going to be like a campaign that has like its own chapters and its own it's like a legit ass game.
First person, like single person.
And that was the other thing. That's what I want. What I want is a single player, like level driven Halloween game. That would be really cool. I would be very interested in that. Now, whether we're playing from the perspective of a survivor or from the perspective of Michael Myers or what kind of game this is, I don't know. I would love a survival horror game where you're having to hide from Michael Myers. Imagine that, like you have an open level in the suburbs. Like there's some cool shit that you could do with that.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. If they could do like a story-driven Halloween game, I would be really intrigued by this because we've gotten all of these major franchises. I've gotten video games, but they're all the same game at their core.
With a different skin, yeah.
Exactly. So it would be cool if we got something that was a little different for Halloween. I don't know what's going to happen. The Evil Dead game was fine. It was good. It wasn't anything super special, so it's not like
I like those little games.
Yeah, I have fun with them for a little while. I play Texas Chainsaw on Game Pass, so it's not like I bought it.
They're fun with friends. When you can have a full group of friends,
when I get my
like a full party, they're good. But when it comes to just playing online, I don't care for those asymmetrical games when I'm playing with strangers.
No.
And even if they made it like. If they made it like Alien Isolation and that you just like had like
that's what
like
I'm
if you had to go like rescue survivors and then like do the closets or like Outlast with Michael Myers, I'd be into that.
That's exactly the kind of thing I'm thinking. Like that would be so cool.
So
I would absolutely love that. And
grab the coat hanger in the closet, like come on.
It does make me excited to hear that Carpenter is involved. Sometimes his narrative decisions over the years have been,
I wonder if that's specifically because of the music angle.
That's what I'm wondering, because if he's composing the music for this, I mean, we saw what he did, regardless of thoughts on the movies themselves, we saw what he did with David Gordon Green's trilogy, which was just incredible music.
Music was the best part of all three, honestly. So
honestly, I probably agree with you. Yeah, Corey Cunningham was my favorite part of the
Corey Cunningham, best part of this whole franchise.
No, but like the music was phenomenal. So if he's coming back to do music for these games, then that's really cool. But I think it's the wording of like these games are in development with direct involvement from John Carpenter does make me think that it's more than just scoring.
What's that other game that he's developing? It's like an original, isn't it?
Yeah, I heard something about this. Like he's really into video games, man.
Yeah, he is. He was supposed to do Dead Space for a while too. Like he had been talking about how he wanted to adapt Dead Space, but it never got off the ground. And I'm just sitting here like,
totally,
motherfucker, you have John Carpenter, like a horror legend, sitting here saying, "Hey, I'd love to make a Dead Space movie." Why isn't every studio throwing money at that? Like,
I think it's because of his
he actually wants to make a movie. Like, what's up with that?
I think it's because of the Ward. The Ward didn't do so well. It was like, it felt like a J horror fan that some American was trying to rip off. And I think a lot of people like really did not like that movie. But you know,
Yeah.
every fucking director, I don't care if you're a legend or not, is gonna have a couple of turds in there. You know what I mean? Like, and maybe they're not turds; they're just turds to you because you just didn't like them. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
it was John Carpenter's Toxic Commando, which is still set to release. It's supposed to release in 2024, so maybe this October, but I doubt that's going to happen anytime soon. But in the near future, an experimental attempt to harness the power of the Earth's core ends in a terrifying disaster that releases the Sludge God. This eldritch abomination begins terraforming the area, turning soil to scum and the living to to undead monsters.
Oh, it's some of that woke shit. They're going fucking climate change here.
It says that other Halloween games being developed in the Unreal Engine 5 too, and I don't think Texas Chainsaw or Dead by Daylight or any of them use that engine. So I think that's something more powerful that gives it a little.
It's also
more
not necessarily a green flag. We'll have to see because the platformer was also developed in Unreal 5. Like,
okay,
developing in Unreal doesn't necessarily mean that it's
not
going to be like
it's-
this graphical powerhouse. Just
Right.
means that there is the potential is there. But I mean, the 2D game that we've seen was also.
Can we go back to horror when it was horror, not this
Yeah.
fucking bullshit? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We got the Thing remastered too coming. as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
I'm actually
It's
gonna.
actually a
I'm
pretty good game.
considering playing that on stream because, like, I remember playing that game on my cousin's Xbox long ago, and I couldn't get past the first level because I was
got
like
it on
6,
PC
and I didn't know
It's
what I
on
was
my
doing.
computer right now.
Bloodborne is opening in emulators, by the way, for any horror game fans who are also into Souls games. You got thanks. You've also got
Hey, Mom.
Bloodborne
I'm
soon
kidding.
going to be able to run on PC. I may stream that at some point. Well, if it
Hell
comes
yeah.
to PC, I certainly will.
I did want to mention also that Dr. Wolfula, I know our buddy Evan here, he's a fan. Do you know Dr. Wolfula, Chuck?
I do not.
On YouTube? Oh, great
No, I don't.
content creator, horror legend on YouTube here. But yeah, he made a dedicated video basically talking about this, and I was listening to it the other day in preparation for this stream, and he was giving his pitch for what he said a great Halloween game might be.
He's a Halloween mega nerd. That's his favorite franchise. So,
and he had literally said what you said about doing like an Alien Isolation type game where you play as somebody who's like in Smith's Grove and Michael escapes, and it's kind of like you have to try to figure your way out or like try to save people, but you're also going up against other people who are just like psychotics in there, and it's like, you know, kind of like an Outlast or something like that. But it was it sounds awesome, like just his concept. And then he actually had a way to make it so there were certain levels where you'd have to play from the perspective of Michael, so you kind of get the best of both worlds. And I'm like, that'd be so cool. That would be.
I haven't actually watched his video
amazing
on it yet, but I want
it's great. Like, honestly, you know how big of a video game guy he is and how much of a Halloween fan.
He's the reason I make YouTube videos, by the way. For anyone who doesn't know, the whole the reason I started and a huge reason I even got into horror in the first place was Dr. Wolfula.
That's cool. Yeah.
Shout to him. He's the
I'll
best.
check it out, definitely. I'm not big on the whole YouTube space in general. Like certain things, it's just never been my avenue. Yeah, I'll get there eventually.
That's why I want to. I like. There's this idea that maybe YouTube and TikTok, you know, it's like two different realms, and I'm like, why not both? You know?
Did anyone notice that my entire drink exploded?
No, I did not.
I tried to play it off. It worked.
Fucking A. There you go. You win.
Yeah, I didn't even notice. Yeah.
Let's go.
By the way, I was going to mention this isn't the first time, obviously, that a horror director is trying to jump into that. You know, we've had Guillermo del Toro do it, and we also had what's his name? George Romero actually tried to do a couple of times, but it didn't work real well.
Yeah,
I think the technology wasn't there yet, and he was a little bit more. You know, they tried to make a 3D Night of the Living Dead kind of game. I can't remember what it was called.
Right.
But it didn't really take off. I think it was terrible.
Yeah, and I think the only drawback that I see from this right now is just that it is coming from you know, not shitting on them. I think that the Evil Dead game was great. Like, they did a good job with that. But Boss Team Games just leads me to only point my direction, like in one direction of this is going to be an asymmetrical horror game. And
it's probably
I love Halloween, but I also love Texas Chainsaw, and it's like, and I love Killer Clowns. you only get so much out of me
Yeah.
with that. You get like
I mean,
one playthrough, I'll support
It
it,
gets
but it's
old
like
quick, man.
we played
Yeah.
Killer Clowns a couple times and it was really fun, and then I have
Mhm.
not opened it since then.
because I don't want to play it unless I have a full group. Unless I can get
Exactly.
all of
Like, I'd
you
play it if
and
we
like
all
a
played
couple of
together,
friends
but
on, it's like
otherwise,
I'm not gonna do it. Like I
no.
don't have the energy to play with strangers like that.
No.
I play Killer Clowns with my 9-year-old and like thoroughly enjoy it, but like
See,
it's
if you're
just
playing with
they're-
someone though, it's fun.
Yeah,
Like, that's
it's
when it's
yeah, right. You have to have somebody to interact. Like even if it's
Yeah.
just people that you don't know, it's better than just playing by yourself. Yeah, I
totally.
agree.
And
Well,
I
I
know
think
it's like, go
the
ahead.
game type is just like, I think it's a lot of people in this space. It's a very niche thing, first of all, and I mean niche in like the widest way, because like
Mhm.
there's obviously a like for it, but I feel like some of the gamers feel like there can only be one. You know what I mean?
I don't,
So
right. I don't
And it's Dead by
understand why.
Daylight. That's always going to be on top, by the way.
If,
I haven't
yeah,
played it,
I mean,
but
I mean, it's okay, but I
Yeah.
mean, I don't understand why a lot of these IPs and franchises don't reach out to people like the creators of like The Evil Within, or even the people that redid
Yeah.
Dead Space or things like that, because like you can take like this horror icon, this adventured world, and put together like such a thing, and like video games make millions and millions and
Totally.
millions of dollars. Like I don't understand why they don't do that or invest in that, because it's just, especially because a lot of horror fans love video games as well. So it's weird to me they don't do that.
from what
I mean,
I
they
heard,
put it on every goddamn thing that you could buy at Spirit Halloween, so why not a video game?
the
Mhm.
ones that do put the money into it also kind of are like clued into. They first get interested in the phone space, and then they go, oh, there's a lot of money to be made here, and then they go over to this other space where they're like, hey, I can throw some money down on this, but we have to do skins and we have to do this, and then everybody hates it, and then it's just dead.
Right.
It's like,
I mean,
And I-
TCM like got really
trying to
rough.
milk it, and it ruins it.
TCM got rough because they added characters that you had to pay to get, and they were like exponentially more powerful
And
than
also
the base game characters, and it made the game unplayable. Like,
also they
Yeah.
switched like development studios.
they
on
did. They traded
TCM.
off. Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
had to switch off just for some. I don't even know what the full reason with that was, but people were pissed. And it's like, yeah, it seems like ever since then it's kind of been like a slow death for that, which it sucks because I
Shame,
love
I had
how
a lot
much
of fun with it.
I love how much support that game got. Again, asymmetrical is not really my preferred style of video game, but it's like the fact that people were actually like still supporting it, and the people who love that kind of game loved it was great. I'm
Me and
happy
my
for
buddy
it. I
played
love
it a
seeing
lot.
Texas Chainsaw succeed.
The Friday the 13th game was good, and they
Yeah.
that's and it's done. Like,
Well,
Yep.
that wasn't
You
even
actually
their
can't
fault.
play
That was
that, no,
because of the
that's
damn
bad.
licensing issues. So it's like, you know,
Right.
they would have kept that going, I think, today.
right,
if
but
they
out of
could.
all those games, I think that one like ran the best and was like the most polished and put together, and then it was just like it's fucking gone.
It was
Dude,
passion.
I
There was
met
a lot of
so
passion behind
many
that one.
friends on that game. I had so much fun on that game, and there was just so much hate for it. Like, and it was like, it really upset me because I literally was just having so much fun, and it was just like watching your favorite thing die slowly, and then
Right.
it just went away, and now it's gone. And that's
Right?
another
It was like
thing about
watching your
this
dog
game.
get sick. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like I don't want to
Yeah.
watch my fucking puppy die like that.
right.
Let me put it out of its fucking misery. You know what I mean?
Cynthia says, Evan, are you immune to jump scares?
I think that was in reference to my drink exploding and not
Yeah.
reacting
Oh.
to it. Yeah. I think I am. I'm numb.
Slash Talk says, I play TCM solo, but I found it hard to play Killer Clowns solo. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I hear. I hear that the experience on TCM when you can play with bots is actually quite a bit of fun if you're not into the whole
I'll have to
online
try
play.
that.
I've yet to experience it, but I plan on it. Cynthia says, it was okay. More fun to play clown, but as you say, more fun with peeps, you know. Seems like there are a lot of survivors who are just on with friends. Yeah. I also hate that too, is like when you're kind of like the odd person out when you're playing with a group.
I want
You know, it's
friends.
like I was never very popular ever, so in my life. So I always
I
feel
know.
like when I go to play a video game, I want to get lost and into the immersion. So
Same.
when I'm getting the same treatment in video games that I get in normal life, you know, it stings a little more. So this is why I hate asymmetrical games. I just don't want to be excluded all the time. Damn it! Like fuck. Anyway,
You're first place in my world, buddy.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Necromechanical says, yeah, I fucking love this. Chuck, have you played the Asylum games, Batman?
As soon as I read that comment, I was like, this is peak right here, because those were legitimately frightening. They were so well done. They're some of the best levels that, and I would put them up there in video game history. They're fantastic.
I adored like Arkham City and Arkham Asylum, and even Arkham Knight I liked a lot. I know that got some shit, but I love that trilogy so much. And Agreed. I agree that this those Scarecrow levels, like if they could do a Nightmare on Elm Street game that kind of pulls from that side of that, like it'd be amazing. Like, and you know, one of the things I've always said is like, if you can kind of find a way to do a Nightmare on Elm Street game where you can be Freddy almost playing as a dream master, setting up kind of the dream and what people like the players are running into, that would be an interesting way to do it. Like, even if that was just like a multiplayer angle, I still would prefer a story, but like, I think that would be a lot of fun, almost playing like a DM in a sense.
They're too busy selling Freddy Krueger for $20 a skin on Mortal Kombat.
Right? Damn.
What do you think they'll charge for Art the Clown? Because he's getting added.
Oh, dude, I don't know.
It's going to be something crazy. It's going to be something crazy like that. Yeah. And that's why I stopped playing. I hate that. Especially whenever you have, like, I don't know if any of you guys have kids, but like now that I have a 12-year-old and a 9-year-old, but like now that I have them, every single thing that they play is a skin or a V-Buck or a thing that you have to add to it. Like it's like they're playing to decorate their character more than they're playing a game, which is infuriating.
Bro, Horse Armor. I was there. I was a little kid when all that stuff started. So it's like when you could start buying DLC. Like I remember when it used to be like you could buy like Call of Duty World at War. You get the whole game. You get zombies, you get everything. And it was starting right after that. Like it was just okay. Now we have map packs, and now we have weapon skins, and now it's like
$20 for DLC. Dude. Like fuck that.
Yeah. Dude, it used to be like $5. It used to be like okay, weapon skins, like a weapon skin pack, $4.99. Okay, that's not so bad. But now it's like $20 for like 3 skins. It's like get the fuck out of here. Like what are you talking about?
Games now are like a French restaurant in New York City. It's all a la carte. It's expensive.
And it's like gambling a lot of times too, which is why they had to crack down on it.
Yeah.
Totally,
well,
it's crazy.
I think we can say that we have a lot of hope for the Halloween game, but I don't know. I really
hope, not confidence.
My belly is rumbling and it's telling me that it's going to be an asymmetrical game, and I'm just not.
I'm with you guys on a single player. Like I think
I don't like your attitude.
If they did it
sorry,
way,
I can read the room.
It would be great.
I agree.
If you want to tack on like a online element to it later on, go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. Like make that like if they would. Now I'm being cynical because I'm talking about video games.
You old fuck.
They would never do it, but I'm like, whatever happened to like making an actual video game and then the online component just being the bonus, you know what I mean? Like that's just for funsies after you beat the game several times. Like, nah, I don't know. Like if they could make a horror game with any of these franchises that could live up to like I would just say like
Souls-like.
I'm not even saying that, dude. I'm saying like Mike, do a Halloween game like The Last of Us 2, where it's a fucking movie, and it's like you're actually playing through it,
like Rob Zombie's version.
Right, but it's so crazy because if The Last of Us was the other way around, like if it was a show and they adapted a game to it, the game would have been terrible.
Yes, 100%.
Because it never works. It never works out that way. You know what I mean? Which, speaking of The Last of Us, I'm good, so worried about it.
It's not like as linear as I was hoping, and you know what I mean.
The
like
show
it feels
or the
like,
game?
Like each episode is like one little story.
Oh, I see.
Do you know what I mean? Like I thought it was gonna like more run together, and
I see what you mean.
Yeah,
but I think when every episode was as well done as it was, I just don't really care.
Oh,
like, episode 3 is super disconnected, but that's like one of the best episodes of television I've ever seen.
Dude, the couple episode is what made me like.
That's what I'm talking about. That third episode with Bill and Frank.
Episode 3.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's like it feels disconnected, but like it's one of the best things I have ever seen in my life.
I cried.
Me too, dude.
I know, dude. Like
it's so powerful, but it also gives you the humanity in that wasteland. Like it was so.
That was well like like up to that point, I was like, oh yeah, they're nailing what the game did, and then I was like, oh, that's better than what the game did. Like they actually surpassed the source material there.
And Nick Offerman, like unbelievable.
Dude.
Yeah,
We are going
to
crush
went like boom.
Yes,
we do have some Last of Us.
It's like one of those things where it's like they expanded on like a piece of that game that was pretty much just hinted at. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
it was just like
it was never like explicitly said that like, you know, they were lovers or anything in the game. It was like kind of a joke, like the butt of a joke in the car afterwards.
Yeah, and you find like a note that hints like that Bill and Frank were,
and then you find the magazine and everything, and you're like, oh, okay.
You never
I guess
meet Frank in the game.
No, you don't. But the fact, and I will admit, going into that episode, I was like, man, I don't know, like how I feel about them like bringing Frank in and everything, because it's like I feel like they should just play it out like they did there. But the fact that they fleshed it out, yeah, dude, it was like I just sat there and was just like, I wouldn't have done it any other way. Like I think it's like a miniature movie in the season. Like it's
the only thing that I missed was you don't get to see Bill and Ellie interact, and that was really fun in the game. Their chemistry in the game is really good. But like I'm willing.
I'll take Frank over Ellie.
100%. I'm willing to set that aside.
Not only was it the best episode of the entire show, but it's one of the best episodes of television, period, ever.
Fully agree with you.
Like it's
very well written. That's why I said it's like a movie it's like a short film within the middle of that season.
I remember finishing that episode for the first time. My dad and I were watching it together, and he looks at me. He goes, "You just don't see things done that well ever."
Yeah, right.
Like, no, you like. He was like, "That's a short film, and it's like one of the best things."
Did any of you guys ever watch Lovecraft Country?
Yes,
I loved it.
Yeah,
Dude, it was amazing, and I think it was like the second or third to last.
Shame that it never got another season
where they do the bombing and the fire and everything.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, like fucking going, man. Like that was. I have goosebumps just now thinking about it. Like just how strong it was.
HBO was kind of on a roll there right before the end of Game of Thrones. Like there's a lot of underappreciated shows there, like Lovecraft Country. I feel like people didn't appreciate Watchmen for what it was. Like both of those shows crushed. Like I loved what they did with those. And it's like the fact that Watchmen was kind of like a mini series in a sense. They were like, oh, we might do more seasons, but then they said, oh, it's just one and done. But Lovecraft Country, you could tell they were trying to do more. And I hate that it never got picked up again. I hope another person will pick it up and continue it.
Before we skip past, just real quick, before we lose Last of Us, we are going to talk about it. Actually, we have some news to cover, so it will come back.
Okay, because
might as well just do it now. Why not?
Yeah, go ahead. You can say it.
I'm afraid, because I thought the first season was. I love that. First and foremost, I love that game. I've bought it on every system, the remat, everything. I've played it so many times because I think it's brilliant. But I think the last episode, the finale, was rushed. I enjoyed it, but I thought it was a little bit rushed. I thought it could have used another 20 minutes to a half an hour, like just really give it to us. I'm very worried that they're not going to give us exactly what we see in the game. Like it, you know what I'm talking about.
Can I put your heart at rest a little bit? From what I have heard, apparently the plan is to split the second game into 2 seasons.
I heard that.
Because the second game is twice as long as the first one.
A lot longer. Yeah.
Right.
And there's so much in Last of Us 2 that I was also thinking, like, how in God's name are they going to squeeze this all into 10 episodes? And
no spoilers, by the way, because I have never played the game.
Not spoiling anything. Not going to spoil a single thing. Right. I don't know how they're gonna. Like, I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, because I felt, not that I was upset with the final episode, but I know what you mean about it feeling rushed. Like it did feel. I was like, oh, we're here already. So
do you know how many hours I spent running through that hospital?
Exactly.
Like literally days doing that.
Yep, and I'm replaying the game right now on Lethal, and like the amount of time I'm spending in these areas, and then you go in the game, and it's like, or the show, you're like, they're through there in 5 minutes. I feel demoralized.
So he was, and I really enjoyed. Like I'd give it like a 9 out of 10. You know what I mean? Like I thought it was fantastic, but specifically, there's an event that happens, which I won't say it, and I'm worried that for TV that they're not going to do that. Like they're going to change it, and that will ruin it for me.
It is HBO.
I'm scared of that. It is HBO. I mean, I get that, but I don't know. I hope so.
Yeah, we'll see. And I mean, Druckmann is still involved, and they have they have made it very clear that they are planning on sticking very close to the events of the second game.
Jason said that they might put it into 3 seasons, by the way.
I mean, I could see it. There's a lot. There is so much to explore, and stuff that wasn't explored
that
in the
worries
game.
me
It
a
could
little
be
bit,
fleshed
though.
out more.
Just because
you gotta play the game, though, man.
No, it's not that. I mean, like, as far as the 3 seasons things, like, I get it. So if they're going to treat it like they, as good on each season or each episode, none of this stringing along bullshit, where they have too much fluff.
There's 3 or 4. There's 3, possibly 4 characters that they could do a 10-episode perspective out of.
Yeah,
and
that's what I'm saying.
Yep, easily do it that way.
Why don't we just kind of roll into this next then, just because we're already talking about it so much. So but before you introduce that there, Evan, I wanted to say, like, just on those points that you guys brought up, I agree that, like, I mean, I won't say anything because of spoilers, but, like, I could physically see in my brain right now where it's like, that's where you end this next season, and then you run into this following season. Like, you could get potentially 3 seasons out of it.
Totally.
Just because of that. And, like, you're right, they could expand on certain characters. Like, there's, we all know Tommy's in it. We all know that Tommy's in it.
Mm-hmm.
You could do a whole, like, few episodes just following him.
Yep.
And that
we could learn more about the scars too.
One of the things
that
they did really well was that they expanded on the stuff from season 1 that we didn't see. Like, I really enjoyed those brief little flashbacks that they did. The first few episodes kind of showing us the start of the virus and stuff. I liked that. Yeah. And I'm thinking about it and how, like, there's time jumps in The Last of Us 2. Like, we could spend time there.
They're pretty significant too.
Watch that too. Yeah, it's like a couple months to what is it, like the longest one? It's not a spoiler, but it's like, what is it? Is it a year or is it like 6 months?
I can't. It's been a while.
Yeah, I'd have to look back into it. But yeah, I really think that you could really find more story in between that there, because, like, yeah, it's
totally,
man, my brain just thought of one specific thing they could totally lead into.
Yeah.
Wow. All right,
Jason,
but go ahead, Evan. Tell us a little bit about what's going on.
7. It's going to be a lot longer.
This is worth talking about. So season 2 is 7 episodes long. So they're absolutely splitting it into more than one season. And I guess that first episode is going to be like gargantuan. So we'll
2 hours.
The free one or whatever that they do,
which makes sense. So anyway, let's move on to the news about Last of Us season 2. There's a couple things. The big thing that I wanted to touch on is just that we have a teaser for it now. We got our first look at The Last of Us season 2, which I was super excited to see. It's really cool again to see them recreating, like, set pieces that I remember playing in the game and recreating them really faithfully. And it's clear that they're putting these things in the trailer for fans of the game, because they're putting that in front of you. Just, again, no spoilers, but like things of Abby being trapped under the fence, where you're like, I know what's going on here, and you know what you're doing by showing me that. So they're doing this on purpose. So it's another example of them being very cognizant of what the fans. Grant, I'm not going to talk about the Last of Us fan base like they're all in the same camp. It's a very divided fan base.
Yeah, it's very toxic.
Like, what people are excited about and what people are curious to see, I will say. It was a cool teaser. It was very action packed, very heavy on the, like, high octane action, lots of explosions and gunshots, which there's certainly a lot of in Last of Us 2. There's no question about that.
I'll be honest, I just didn't want to watch it because I was like, I'm just gonna watch it anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm such a Last of Us, like, fanatic that I was like, I gotta see this, and it was like a minute long, so I was like, whatever. Plus, already having played the game, it's not like they can spoil anything in the trailers that I'm not already going to be aware of.
It's a hell of a minute.
It is a hell of a minute.
Right?
Yeah, you get a lot in that little minute.
There's a short little tidbit about it is before I played The Last of Us 2, I got on the internet and it was completely spoiled for me.
Oh, wow.
And I was I was crushed. And even though I played it and knew exactly what was going to happen, it still devastated me to a point, because there's a difference between knowing and then feeling it, like, as that character. Like, people are not ready for part 2.
I had the exact opposite experience where I played it release day and I was avoiding any spoilers, nothing. I knew nothing about it going in. And I played through the whole thing without Googling it a single time. And then afterwards I was like, oh my God, that is one of the most emotionally potent stories I've ever experienced in a video game. Let me go online and share in this achievement from Naughty Dog, and I was like, oh my god, everyone fucking hates this. Like, it was a hellscape.
I beat it in about 5 days. And
yeah.
on the 5th day, it was like I beat it the morning before I had to go to work. Like, I had to go to work at like 4 o'clock to close the store in the afternoon. And I just remember sitting there at like an hour before work. And I just sat there and I had a couple of, because it was like the summer. So I think I had like a few beers left over from like the 4th of July. I just sat there, drank a beer at the table, like literally sitting there waiting to go to work. My mother-in-law, 'cause my wife and I were living with her at the time. And she just comes in. She's like, don't you have work today? And I'm just like, yeah, I do. She's like, oh, you don't really drink or anything. And I'm like, kind of going through something.
Yeah,
right
you
now.
gotta.
Yeah. She's like, what's she's like, what's wrong? And then I had to tell her it was a video game. And
It's
she's like,
draining,
oh my God.
dude.
Like, she's like,
no, it's that's legit, man. Yeah,
totally. I've always
Naughty
described it as the most emotionally draining video game I've ever played.
Even in the first game where the thing happens to Ellie,
Yeah.
that scene before we meet Bill,
Yeah.
or when we meet Bill, I guess it is, or whatever, that really fucked me up. Like, I was like, holy shit, that was a video game.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is going on here? This is something different, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't have a PlayStation 5, so if anybody has one that laying around, because I want to play part 2 before the season comes out now.
Yeah.
I'll
It's on
give it back.
PS4
I
as well.
swear to God, I don't care.
I read a thing that they're supposed to drop them like a $1.25 for holiday season this year because they had a real, like, the whole summer and everything was really slow. So I think there's going to be a big discount before the Christmas push.
Okay,
to keep your eyes out for.
That'd be nice because
I just want to play that in Ragnarok.
Some games. Ragnarok's great. It didn't make me cry like the first game.
No.
But Ragnarok's fucking amazing though.
I'll play it eventually. I was too caught up with Elden Ring. I didn't get around to playing Ragnarok yet. But there are 2 other things in The Last of Us I want to talk about. One, I've heard a rumor that it's going to release in March or April of 2025. Don't put too much stock in that. That seems realistic to me. If they've already got a teaser out, that's not something where I hear that I'm like, nah, that's great. It'll probably be like springtime.
When did season 1 come out? Was that?
It was around the same time.
Was that winter? Was that January?
No, it was like, I think it was March or something like that.
It's a good time to come out if you think about it, because it'll be like after the election, and then everything will be devastating.
Exactly, yeah. You'll be able to get your PS5 by just breaking down a Best Buy window. So the other thing that I wanted to talk okay, actually, Sinister Cinema just brought up the thing that I wanted to talk about the most with this, which is that Caitlin Dever, the actor who is playing Abby,
it's sad, man.
This is very depressing. So obviously we're not spoiling anything.
Oh, that's terrible.
So the actor who played her in the game received death threats, and her family received death threats, and she basically had to like disconnect from everything and have security on her because people were attacking her personally for the controversies about her character in the game. There were things even before it came out where people saw a muscular woman and went, that's a trans character and it's LGBT propaganda.
Right.
Not even a trans character. It doesn't matter if it was, that's just still a stupid thing.
Right.
But so now Caitlin Dever, who is, by the way, and I had a similar thing with this, by the way, when Exorcist Believer came out, because say what you will about it, people were attacking the young actors and being very cruel to them. We're talking about young people right now.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Caitlin Dever is not as young as those two are. Caitlin Dever is 27 years old, but she had to have extra security on set and outside of that because people were threatening her and she was actually at risk. So because people,
ridiculous.
Please fucking separate reality from fiction. It's not real. It's not fucking real. It's made up.
People are awful. Just it's awful people. Yes, because it for one, it's a video game. For two, it's fantasy. For three, the people just didn't understand. Like the amount of people that didn't understand how powerful. Like I think the perspective that they gave you in part 2, like when you didn't see it coming, that you got this whole. It's because you went through this whole journey.
It's the most impressive.
Then you got the other side. It's the most impressive.
It's the most impressive challenging of perspective I've ever experienced in a video game.
Ever.
Without a doubt.
Ever. Because, and the thing of it is it really makes you appreciate the fact that you love Joel, but he's not a good fucking person.
Yeah.
No, and that's the thing that I feel like everybody forgot.
Everyone's like, Joel's such a good guy.
He's an awful fucking human being.
The whole fucking first game is talking about, where he's like, I am not a good guy. Like you're not supposed to really be rooting for him at the end of the game. Like you are personally,
but you love him.
Yes. If you see that final scene,
like he's
if you go through that final
world,
scene,
I'm saving you. Like that's it. Like I'm doing this
through that final scene, and you're still like,
God.
He's a good guy. You miss the point. Same thing when people watch Breaking Bad and they're like, yeah, Walter White was such a badass. It's like, you're missing the fucking point.
Yeah, right.
This happens in fiction all the time. American Psycho had the same thing where people were like, he's so fucking cool, man.
So you missed the point. You missed the point of the fucking movie, bro.
But the fact that they can make you feel empathy for such a despicable human being is so fucking powerful because you love him. It's like, I would smash zombie skulls with this guy. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy.
Sinister. I was actually thinking the exact same thing about the bald one in Alien Romulus looking like Lev. I was like, oh, they should play Lev. That would be good casting.
I think she's too old.
She is. Yeah.
Dylan, can you turn up my mic slightly? Someone text me. Am I quiet, guys? Can you hear me? That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, it sounds fine to me.
Almost like you're kind of quiet.
I'm not like nervous, but I'm preparing myself because late this year or early next year, I will be covering The Last of Us 1 and 2 and Last of Us Season 1 before Last of Us Season 2 comes out.
Do each episode.
I still don't know how I want to format. I don't think I'm going to do it like that. I'm probably
going to love that shit, man.
I know. Oh, for Season 2, I'll probably be reviewing it week to week. But for the first season, I'm probably going to do just like a big video essay.
Good. Thank you,
in one chunk. But yeah, so I'm well aware that when I put out that video on Last of Us Season 2 or Last of Us Part 2, I've had videos that were controversial in the past. There's not going to be anything that's going to come anywhere close to that. I'm just preparing myself now because I think that game is a fucking masterpiece.
Sinister Cinema, if you want to get with I guess any of us at this point, Alex, you got to play Last of Us 2. We should all do a big video discussing this at this point. Like we've talked for almost 30 minutes.
Dude, I fucking love this shit. So yeah,
because like I would love to, especially like a retrospective kind of thing where we just talk about it. Now that all the bullshit's done before Season 2 comes out, because it's like I think
ready for another round.
Maybe people can, right. Dude, like I was like so pissed, like trying to talk to people about this game, and they'd get so up.
It was one of the most toxic release cycles I've ever.
Did you even finish the game? Like
ever?
No, I got to that one part and I stopped playing. I'm like,
yep,
brother, that is like 3 hours into the game.
Yeah,
it's like an 18-hour long game. Like,
yeah,
what are you talking about?
There's a bit more to experience, dude.
But that even, but I don't think anybody should have to suffer from backlash like the backlash that happened. But if you take like a step back and really look at like how divided it was over that situation that happened in the game, is a testament to how brilliant that first game was. Because like we just said, like you fell in love with these characters, and whatever 100%. Characters it is, it's like these people were ready to defend their life and like say these awful things online that could have got them to like lose their jobs and their careers over a video game character. And like that is so it was better written than most movies are. Like it's so good.
Yeah.
I like part 2, and
you really do.
I really
want to talk
better.
About it,
yeah. Part
Jason,
2.
Let me borrow your shit.
Yeah, part 2 is way better than part 1 in my personal opinion.
I agree. The way that I say it is part 1 is great, but it is it's a road movie. You know what I mean? It's like they're right. On the road. You're going from spot to spot, and yeah, part 2 is essentially, you're going from one place to another. But what they do with it, they make it like almost like an Odyssey in a sense, where it's like you're watching this character have to go through like all this horrible shit, only to be knocked down and have to do it again.
It's way more going on in part 2.
Yeah, and again, like the twist that we kind of have to dance around, like the midway through the game.
Yeah,
it's one of those things where every time I've ever talked to somebody who loves it, it's like they have that experience of like, it starts and you're just like, what? Like I have to do.
Can you imagine
this?
if season
I have
1
to do this
like that, or season 2?
Yeah, and then it's like as you get into it, you're like, oh, this is brilliant. Like this is totally. And then by the time you switch, you're just sitting there like you get to the end and you're like, I can't do this. I'm not gonna touch it. I'm just gonna put the controller down and let it do its thing. Like I'm not doing anything to anybody. Fuck you. Fuck
when
you,
that
game.
shift came, I remember the first time that shift came.
Yeah.
And the scene transitions, and I just put down my controller for a second, and I started laughing because I'm like, this is one of the most ballsy things.
Oh yeah.
That they could have possibly done. Like, this is fucking crazy that you're making me do this.
Some of those newer games do that, where they put you in a moral dilemma thing.
Yeah.
You know, like
this was the most interesting use of that I've seen, though.
This is the biggest this is a bigger moral dilemma than things I've dealt with in real life.
Yeah,
like
this was such a huge challenge.
It's
so impressive.
Yeah,
and
God damn, you guys are killing me here.
I know, but it's like, because the best part about it, and this is the last I'll say, and then we'll move on, is just like we'll talk to Sinister here, but I'm like, it puts you in that position of like, man, really, like, I got to do this, and then you're just like, but I got to see how this ends.
Yeah,
I'm already so deep into it. It's like, I can't not see how this ends.
Yeah.
And then by the time you get to that, you're like, you're already so won over.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh my God. Yeah. I wish I could say it, because like I
haven't seen part 2 and I haven't played part 2.
No spoilers.
I want to say one thing. The reaction, fuck the negativity. Don't even pay attention to it. Just talk about what you like about it, and no one will have any power.
Because here's the thing, it's not going to get canceled. I can tell you 100% without a doubt. You saw the viewership in that first season. Regardless of what the reactions emotionally are to season 2, the viewership is going to be just as, if not fucking higher than it was in that first season.
It's going to skyrocket.
It doesn't matter how much of a hate campaign people are launching against it. It's not going anywhere.
Can you imagine this was what tripped me out about it, because like I love that, like I know that game, I know what's on every wall and every corridor.
Yeah, me too.
I read every note, opened every drawer, literally hundreds of times, and looked through all the records in the record stores, all that shit, because like I just be in a record store for an hour. You know what I mean? There's people in the world, and this blew my mind, that like have no idea. Like they have no idea that these other characters that are they're gonna watch it, and they have no idea that this people or this world even exists. And like I would love
My mom's one of them. She's watching it without having ever played the games, and it's been very interesting to see someone experience this story without the context of the games.
Both my dad
for the first time.
Both my dad and my wife are not, well, my wife more than my dad, but they're not video game people. So they came into season 1 completely fresh, and they're so on board with it, but they don't know anything about the games.
Yeah.
So it's like, and my dad like loves it, because he was one of those people that like, he was watching Game of Thrones all the time, and like he was like, he didn't hate the ending, but he was disappointed.
Yeah.
So it's like he's been looking for a show, and like Last of Us has really kind of done it for him.
Yeah, my dad was the same way. He got super into it.
Yeah, and
it's catching a lot of people who just would never, like what Neil said. I remember watching the Grounded documentary for part 2, and they were talking about the show at one point, and Troy Baker was talking about how he was confused when he first heard about the show, and he was asking Neil, "Is why are we doing this? We already told the story. Why are we doing it again?" Neil goes, "Because there are people who will never pick up a controller in their life, and they deserve to experience this story too." And plus, Troy was like, "I'm in."
as a creative, it's one of those things too, where it's kind of like, the way that Neil has handled this and the way the showrunners handled this is like, it is great to be able to explore other sides.
And they're getting to revise some things and like smooth out, because the game's great, but it's not perfect.
We
and there
wouldn't
were
have
things that they smoothed out.
We wouldn't have had that episode with Frank and Bill. That never would have happened without the show.
Nope.
And people are like unanimous that that's the best episode of the season.
Yeah,
I'm glad he decided to do that and like actually add to the lore instead of just.
I also think it helps a ton that you have
it.
Craig Mazin, who made Chernobyl, which was one of the fucking best miniseries I've ever seen,
yeah,
and also one of the scariest things I've ever watched was Chernobyl.
Chernobyl is flawless television.
It's perfect, and it's also fucking harrowing.
It is. I couldn't agree.
Is it the end of the first episode when it's all those families and the people who live there? Like,
yep. I know exactly what
and
you're
it's like
about.
the ash, but they're like, it's snow, it's snow.
Yeah.
She's got the baby.
Yeah, it's the baby. You're just sitting there like, oh my god, no! Like, you're all gonna die.
Christina won't watch it. I try to get her to watch it all the time. She's like, I don't know if I'm just in the mood for that. I'm like, yeah, it's definitely not a happy movie. crappy
Cynthia,
show.
I also
Yeah,
have
no,
ADHD. It's still worth watching the rest of Last of Us.
Oh yeah, definitely finish it, Cynthia. It'll
Yeah,
go right
yeah,
up your
totally.
alley. See, Cynthia, season 2 you will love. I promise you. You like if they handle it correctly, like I think they're going to.
It's a
It's gonna be
scattered
so
mess.
deep.
An
It's
ADHD
like a-
brain.
Season two has the potential to propel that to the greatest television show of all time.
It'll be up
And
there.
I don't think that's a light comment.
Succession and Better Call Saul will be hard to beat for me. But,
Succession is my number one show of all time.
Yeah.
I gotta
but
go with
know.
True Detective season 1 and Midnight Mass. Those are mine.
I love
I'm
Midnight
on
Mass.
Succession and Better Call Saul.
Mhm.
What is Better Call Saul from though? I mean, Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad,
though.
yeah, but
Yeah.
I'll count those as the
That
same.
to
Breaking
me is
Bad,
like
Better
one of
Call
the
Saul.
first best shows ever made.
Yeah. I'll
Like,
encapsulate Better Call Saul.
Breaking
and
Bad's
Breaking Bad
incredible.
together.
Well,
it does.
Breaking Bad.
It gets a little chunky and at the very
I don't
end. It's
think
a
so.
little.
What does?
Breaking Bad. I
The
love.
last few episodes
Breaking
of
Bad?
Breaking Bad really kind of got a little rushed.
What?
But it did for me. I mean, I don't know.
Wow.
Some people.
I got a hot take.
Okay.
What?
I hate Breaking Bad.
All
Ah,
right,
fuck?
that's
Wait, you
strike
like
two.
Romulus over here.
Yeah, I did like. I got into season 4. It just wasn't for me. Like I thought it was so. I thought it was so. I had to suspend so much.
See, that's what I'm
belief
talking
to,
about.
To even
I guess
buy
that's
into
the
it. Like
thing
it
with
just, it just
Succession. That
didn't
show
do
is
it
so
for me.
believable the whole way through. Like that's just completely grounded and like.
He's right though, because there is moments in that.
Wait, are you
fourth
saying that?
season-
Are you saying that sarcastically?
No, Succession is grounded. I mean,
It is. It is.
I'm being
It's about
serious.
it's about the like despicable rich people. Like and that's why
Yeah.
I relate to it because it's so well done. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
And I know a lot of people love Breaking Bad. Like it's not. It just wasn't for me.
It
All
does
right.
get a little
Fair
wonky. Like I said, like there is moments in it now compared to other shows that have followed its pattern. Is what I'm saying. Like that's why I
Right.
say first best show.
I don't know. I felt like Breaking Bad was one of the first TV shows that I like really fell in love with,
Yeah.
and then because it was around the same time that like True Detective season 1 came out, so like
Right.
I was really falling. Like TV was just starting to like elevate, and that was
Totally,
one of
yeah.
those shows that I would say kind of ushered that in.
I
Penny-
agree.
Penny Dreadful.
Even Dexter season 1 and 2.
Oh yeah,
The first
Dexter
4
was great.
seasons of Dexter.
I didn't watch
were great.
Dexter till way after it was done though. I saw it on
Got
Netflix.
weird.
Yeah, after
Yeah, I
Trinity, it
didn't-
gets fucked.
Yeah, I was gonna say after the Trinity Killer shit, I was like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Penny
that's right.
Dreadful's awesome. I like Penny Dreadful a lot.
I have not seen it, but it's been
Very
recommended.
good
a ton.
gothic.
I'm watching Evil, but I want to watch Succession really bad.
Succession is like I was always like nothing will ever beat out Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul for me. That's my number one. And then I watched Succession and I was like, wait, what is my world? Because now I don't know. Because Succession is probably the best script I have ever seen for anything. And I knew that from the first episode. I remember finishing that first episode of Succession, all these little details in the script where I was like, holy shit, this is the best writing I've ever seen.
Well, maybe
I-
I'll
know what
watch
it
that
is?
after Evil.
Do you know what it did perfectly as well too? Is it ended flawlessly
Dude,
to me.
oh my God. I agree.
To
yeah.
me, like there was no hiccup to it. Like I was on that team already. Like I was kind of hoping that it would end up that
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
And like when I got what I wanted, like but even if it wasn't that,
They
It
fucking
was-
nailed it, man.
and they weren't greedy and dragged it on for another season or anything. They're just
4
like,
seasons.
listen, even down to, and it was so methodically well done. Like even down to Kieran Culkin
Mm.
sitting at the bar at the end. And that's not like a spoiler, but
Yes.
like even to
Yes.
the fucking drink that he had in his hand
Yep.
had absolute.
That's what I'm talking about.
fucking
These script details, dude.
Yeah,
Like it's
it had
insane.
such purpose to it, and I was like, "Holy shit, Jerry!"
Did you
It
guys
was
watch Ozark? Did any of you
Yes,
watch
I
I
that?
love
love
that.
Ozark.
Okay,
Ozark
so-
was so good.
So
It ended
here's
terribly.
this
Yes,
is
they
the
really
thing.
did.
So I'm bringing this up because you mentioned how Succession nails it. Ozark was fantastic, and then the last 20 minutes of the last
Yeah.
episode
Blew it.
were dog shit.
Yeah.
That's why I haven't finished it.
Really
They didn't know how to
last
end
season.
it, man. That's what
Nope.
happened. They just didn't
And
know
it's
what they were
crazy
doing.
because you don't remember all that good shit that you
No.
loved every week.
I just remember
then
how bad the last 20
I
minutes
do-
of that
me
episode were.
too.
I
Have
will
you guys
say.
watched? Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I
Oh,
was
well,
gonna
I'll
ask
just
you
mention
to-
this real quick, and then
Yeah,
we
go
go
ahead,
on to
Alex.
that.
Mhm.
The end of season 2 was it? How many? 3? There was 3 seasons in Ozark, right?
Ozark?
I thought it was
Yeah.
4.
I mean,
Or did
well,
they
the
split the
third-
third
I think it's
season
4.
into 2?
The end
Okay,
of
it
the
was 4.
third season, whatever it was, when they go down to Mexico,
Yep.
It was amazing.
that shit blew my fucking mind. And then the song kicks in with fucking,
it's great.
With Killer Mike.
I would have rather.
Fucking,
I would have rather.
Yes!
Good.
I would have rather them end it right there and just had to figure out the rest in my head than have a whole other season.
Ozark was amazing for a while.
Yeah,
have you guys watched Severance?
No, but I
hear great things.
I've had it
heard a lot
recommended
of
to me
good
like
things
time and time again.
If they do 2 more seasons of Severance that are as good as the first season, that's going to jump. That I guarantee you. Like if you like these other shows, it's going to jump up on your all-time favorite list.
I'm finally watching The
nothing
Sopranos
but great
for the
things.
first time,
That's
so
directed
maybe
by.
eventually.
That was created by Ben Stiller, wasn't it?
Yes, and it's so Adam Scott. It's so
he's
fucking good. It's so
I love
good,
Adam
and
Scott,
it has a horror element to it. Like it's not a horror show.
I haven't heard
But the reality of how they spin the story is a very horrific thing that could like really happen. It's like
Acolyte got canceled, by the way.
Yeah, very
did
good.
Well, that doesn't surprise me.
No.
I haven't heard good things, but I don't hear anything good about Star Wars anymore. I gave up. So, one thing I will mention, and then we should probably go to another story. I love talking TV, though. I'm having a great time.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm fine with this. You know, it's our show. We can do whatever hell we want.
I'm chilling.
But I could talk TV with Chuck for hours. It seems like we all seem to really like the same shit. But
unless it's about Breaking Bad.
Or Romulus,
yeah, apparently.
Or Romulus.
Did you watch Better Call Saul, or did you just skip it?
I didn't.
Dude, you broke my fucking heart, Chuck. I swear to God, I was so happy that when I came home and yours
with Romulus.
Was
Romulus was dog shit.
Yours was the first review I saw.
Can I interject one thing before we pivot to that?
Know?
Yeah,
I don't want to be confused by other people's thoughts, so I try not to watch them and just put my, you know what I mean. But when I saw yours, I was like, no.
I want to interject one thing quickly, Chuck. Even if you didn't like Breaking Bad, I think if you love Succession as much as you say you do, you will like Better Call Saul.
I have several friends that have told me that. I just haven't had the time. Like I'm open-minded. Like I'm open-minded enough to watch Breaking Bad again because I also was going like that was peak of like the fallout of my marriage, divorce coming. So like I couldn't connect. Just like I put 130 hours in Red Dead Redemption 2. And like when the shit hit the fan, I never finished.
Yeah,
and I still can't pick it up because every time I boot it up, it reminds me of that time in my life. So like I will give the disclaimer that Breaking Bad is attached to a traumatic time in my life. So maybe I'm unfairly judging it. So there's a little context for you that I just don't flat out hate it, like Alien Romulus.
I have had
that was the only thing
like
I'd seen of you, by
life.
the way, was the Alien Romulus video.
I've had stuff like that in my life happen too, where it's like there's something amazing and you have something terrible going on in your life, and it just every time you try to go back to
those
it,
things
like
later.
It's hard. But then when you pick it back up and you have like that healing from that situation and you're able to go through it, it's like an epic experience because I will finish Red Dead Redemption 2 someday.
You need
I
to.
loved it.
I mean, we were talking about Last of Us 2, Red Dead Redemption 2. Also, one of those ones, of those games. It's just like,
I mean, the gameplay could be better, but like the game overall is like amazing.
It's interesting the dichotomy between movies and
ride your horse
television, though, right?
Gameplay is that fucking game.
What's up?
You know what I mean by that? Like it's different because like it seems like TV is not that movies aren't, but it seems like TV kind of gets a little outdated. Whereas because there's so much of it, maybe, you know, to bicker or whine about, you know, whereas a movie is an hour and a half long, you don't have 12 hours or 36 hours to go, well, you know, so I wonder.
I think TV can hurt more because the investment is so much higher.
Totally.
Sure.
That's why the end of Ozark pissed me off so bad. I was like calling people after Ozark ended.
Just upset. Yeah, I agree.
My wife and I did want to mention this like forever ago, just because we were talking general TV, and then we'll talk about the next story. Because I got to wrap up here pretty soon, about 20 minutes or so.
That's
fine.
Me too. My kids are restless.
Yeah. I did want to mention my wife and I just started Righteous Gemstones this past week. I don't know if you guys are into that at all.
I haven't seen it.
It's so fucking
I've watched
funny.
a few.
I enjoyed the first season very much, and the second season was okay. To me.
I'm like we're just getting
Walton
into
Goggins guy. Mm-hmm.
He's so good.
Like
he's
him.
so funny in this,
so
man.
Good.
He's
so
great in
good.
everything that he's in, honestly. But like, he's so fucking good in this show so far.
He was really good in Fallout, obviously, because
and
you know.
I wanted to also bring that up because for those of you who understand that I criticize the David Gordon Green Halloween trilogy consistently on my channel with Luke.
Pleb.
I do love David Gordon Green. I think he's got some good stuff. And that is one of those where it's like,
Daniel.
I like his writing on this. I think he's
Daniel.
good. Yep. What's happening, Daniel? What's going on, my boy? What's happening?
Yeah.
I want to collab on some Hammer horror stuff with you, Daniel, by the way, later this year. I have some ideas.
All right.
7 golden vampires.
Let's talk about some old horror, because we got some old horror that's about to become new horror potentially. Nothing is set in stone yet, but I think we should mention that one of the modern horror legends, Mr. James Wan, is in talks to direct Creature from the Black Lagoon for Universal.
Curious.
I have some thoughts. I have a lot of thoughts.
James Wan goes into water again.
I think Chuck has some thoughts. So why don't we round robin this? We'll start with Chuck, Evan, and then Alex, and then I will say my piece on it.
Okay.
Chuck, how you feel?
I have a tattered relationship with Mr. Wan. He's becoming a little bit like M. Night to me. But the thing about the power of his name is I'm going to watch it anyway. You know what I mean? Like, I at least need to find out. There's just so much that they can do with it. You know what I mean? And I hope that he's the right guy, because it's such a tried and true bona fide classic character that it's like that's a touchy one. But like we see what Eggers is doing with, Nosferatu, there's hope. But there's no way I could put James Wan in Robert Eggers' shoes. I don't think that's even a fair comparison to Robert Eggers, in my personal opinion. But I'm very intrigued by it. That's the last name I thought would be attached to the Creature from the Black Lagoon. So they got my interest.
Evan, how you feeling, my boy?
Yeah, first of all, I want to appreciate the Robert Eggers love. He's my favorite director, Chuck. So
I fucking
love to hear it.
I can watch The Lighthouse 24
I've watched
hours.
The Lighthouse more times.
Sorry, Alex. Sit in your corner.
Yeah.
I said I hated him.
Yeah. So I like James Wan. I'm young, like I'm 22. So when a lot of his earlier movies were coming out, I was very young. So some of them are like really nostalgic for me. I will say I went back and rewatched The Conjuring recently and couldn't finish it. So there were some rose-tinted goggles going on with some of James Wan's earlier work for me. But I still really like him, and he made Malignant, which I absolutely adore with all my heart. And I still think
Evan, I'm in love with you now. I might move to Canada and live in your fucking home.
Yeah, I love
Malignant.
I still think
you're in a safe space. We're all very big Malignant fans.
Yeah, we are.
So the show loves Malignant.
We spent an hour and a half talking about Malignant.
We went on a huge tangent on it.
Yeah, I have goosebumps all over me, because it's hard to find Malignant lovers, because it's so fucking.
We're all
good.
Malignant lovers.
You know what it is? It stems. I just want to say real quick. It stems from the love of 80s films, I think, for some reason. It's just that specific niche thing in
1981 backwoods fucking grindhouse horror movies.
Yep.
I love Malignant for one specific reason. The way that it depicts emotional and generational trauma and how you carry it for it being attached to you is one of the most brilliant fucking things I've ever seen in my entire life.
So I love a lot of James Wan stuff. I think Insidious is great. Like, I really, really like Insidious. He has a lot of love for classic horror, and even in movies where I wasn't enjoying The Conjuring now as much as I did when it came out, you can still see in The Conjuring, like, there's remnants of him having an understanding of what made older horror movies work. He's not always the best at fully executing them in the most effective ways, but that love for it and that understanding does make me excited. I'm interested by this. I'm always down to see some Universal monster properties come back. Like, I love these fucking movies: Wolfman, Frankenstein, Creature from the Black. Like, I grew up watching these movies, so I'm always going to get excited to hear about it. And I do love James Wan, despite not always loving his movies. So well, I'm not like, this is the perfect fit and I can't wait to see this. I'm like, yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and I'm curious to see what he's going to do with the property. I think that there's certainly potential with it.
Alex, your thoughts, sir?
Speaking on the Conjuring thing, I mean, that was like reintroducing sort of like a classic gothic horror into
Yeah.
modern day, you know. So I mean, like, I have to give him credit for that, even if it doesn't last forever, because
Oh, and
nothing
it
ever
worked.
does. Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, it reintroduced that to a lot of people, and some people think that's very dull and not as deep, and that's cool. But yeah, I think there's room for a little bit of all of it, and he's done a little bit of all of it. So it's like, if you think of Death Sentence, which was a harrowing movie, that probably one of my favorite James Wan movies, literally, like it literally is one of the best movies he's ever done. And I like
I'm a
Malignant,
big
of
Death
course, too.
Sentence supporter. I
Dude,
enjoy
that movie
movie
needs
a
a
lot.
4K
By the
like
way,
right away.
Dead Silence, I also think is great. I like Dead
Dude,
Silence a lot.
I just watching Death
Dead
Sentence
Silence
made me.
rips.
It's fucking
Which one?
awesome. Dead Silence,
Dead
the doll
Silence.
one.
Yeah,
Dead
yeah.
Silence rips.
I
have
never
to-
really got into
this
that
one.
one.
I'm gonna
but
I'm gonna
love
have
it.
to say I'm with you, Alex. It wasn't I don't hate the movie, but
Yeah, I
like
don't
it's one
either.
that I don't revisit all that often from him.
Okay, I should also clarify, like Chuck did, it was the first movie I watched after my father died, and it was a comfort thing. So there's some
Okay.
there's another
He's-
level of it with me. So I love Dead Silence. I think it's very fun,
Sure.
but there is also like a a sentimental thing with
He's
it.
clearly a
for sure.
fucking Giallo lover, because
Totally.
come on, it's a red. That's like fucking, what is it? Red.
Deep Red.
What's the Deep Red? Yes, thank you. It
I
feels
love
like a
Deep
Deep Red
Red.
movie. Yeah, that's a fantastic film.
It
Um,
is so good.
What was I going to say? But yeah, I think he's done a little bit of everything, and I think if he goes towards that Death Sentence way, which has a lot of emotional ties to it, he's fully capable of it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, and if you, like you said, Malignant with the whole generational thing, maybe you could tap into something weird with the not Guillermo del Toro style. You know what I mean? Like something different.
Right. Yeah.
I am going to refer to our buddy Daniel here because this is the point that I was going to make. I'm excited to see James Wan tackle this just because he is such a horror cinema fanatic. Like you can tell through all of his films, he's always pulling from different angles when it comes to something like Malignant is different than The Conjuring, which is different from Saw or Death Sentence. He's always has that similar Wan style, but he always pulls from another side of that he likes. And I've never seen him do like a Universal Monsters movie. So I'm curious to see what he does to this, but I am still very sad that we never got to see John Carpenter's
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Creature from the Black Lagoon. This was like the 90s, I want to say, like the mid to late 90s. They were talking about doing this. There's a I'll pull it up for you, but Evan, since you don't know much about
this,
there was a script. I don't think it's ever leaked online, but there is apparently a script. But they have these. One second. There are they did a mock-up for the creature. You guys talk about this while I find this.
Oh.
I think the only thing that could go bad with James Wan doing Creature is if he allows Jason Blum to have anything to do with decision.
I think at this point, when James Wan is doing something, the studio is probably going to
pretty hands
let him do his own
like
thing.
that's what you can see. What Malignant did was him basically being like, I gave you these fucking movies that like blew you guys up. Fuck off. Let me make my movie. I think that James Wan does have that kind of weight that he can push around, thankfully. So I have a feeling that like, is this under Blumhouse? Do we know?
It is. I think.
This is Universal. So far, it says Universal. I don't know.
Okay, so it's probably under Blumhouse. It could be. It could actually. You know what? It's probably that merger that James Wan's and Blumhouse's thing did. But
this was just.
I would imagine Jason Blum is going to stay off from it.
Yeah, 1992. This was John Carpenter's.
That's really cool.
Creature
mock-up. A really good design. Yeah.
Creature from the Black Lagoon. Yeah. So this was, and you could see he was going to have like the little catfish whiskers and things like that.
That's awesome.
And I just think like if there's anybody who would have crushed that as a remake, it would have been John, obviously.
Totally. Yeah.
But like I gotta agree with Chuck a little bit that like although I'm curious to see what he does, and it does excite me that they at least have a name that I've enjoyed most of their work from. I can say though, it doesn't excite me as much as having somebody like maybe like a David Bruckner.
Sure.
Well, because I was thinking we're getting like an Eggers Dracula movie based. We're getting a Guillermo del Toro Frankenstein movie, and then we're getting James Wan Creature from the Black Lagoon, which isn't bad, but it's not the same level as those other two.
They don't. They're still in talks, so I don't even know if we have a full blown team yet.
And it doesn't
so.
say nothing about Blumhouse.
It doesn't say anything about Blumhouse.
No, it just says Atomic Monster, which is James Wan's company.
Oh, well, isn't
that the merger though?
That's the merger.
So that's a merger between James Wan's company and Blumhouse.
So there's a good chance.
So it is.
Yeah, it'll probably be that.
But I would imagine that Jason Blum will keep his hands off it because James Wan has proven
he did with Malignant.
Yep,
so,
he totally.
And you know that some people didn't they have a part? Didn't they do the production on that with?
No, Malignant was Warner Brothers.
Yeah, I don't think Malignant was Blumhouse.
Well, whoever it was did let their hands off on that one for sure.
The studio will keep their hands off James Wan's work because he's proven that he can just do it.
I think some people were like, "What the fuck, dude?" when that movie came out.
He knew that people were going to as well because at the start of Malignant, it feels like a standard James Wan haunted house movie. You start that movie and you're like, oh, this is Insidious or The Conjuring, and he's doing that on purpose because he knows what you're going into his movies expecting, and he's going, nah, fuck you, I'm doing my movie.
Well, that's right. When you get fuck you money, you can do fuck you movies. You know what I mean? So, that's what 80s was about. There was just too much money, and everybody was able to do fuck you shit. You know what I mean? So that's why we got so many crazy ideas all at one decade.
But society in general in the 80s was completely different, that you can make, do anything you wanted. And now there's so many different, you could say this or can't say this or make that. Like the constraints they have to make films under these days is nothing like the 80s.
Yeah, true. Everything is very catered, and you got to send somebody in to make sure that the script isn't, this and that. And it's like,
I mean, even slashers these days, like slashers all through the 80s was, tits, knives, and chainsaws. Like there is no more of that anymore. You know what I mean? I don't know if I could say that on YouTube. Boobs.
Oh, you can say that.
Say whatever you want.
Yeah, I don't know.
Tatas.
That's the
the substance isn't out yet, dude. I wish I could. I've tried to get the screener for it, but they don't have one out.
They won't send it to me neither. Nope.
That's the title of my memoir, by the way, Chuck.
Tits.
Necro McAnimal said one thing he didn't understand about Malignant is in the beginning when they're making it seem like a ghost, what's pushing the couch cushion down. It's not a ghost, so the misdirect is unwarranted. I think that was just a tangibly giving the audience the like, you can't feel her trauma, but you could see it, so they're giving you a way to embrace what she's going through internally, which I could tie that back into whenever you were talking before I got on about Cuckoo, because like in Cuckoo, whenever Hunter Schafer is having the, like when it does the spins and the repeats and everything, like that is a visual representation of the audience grab of what she's going through. I think it's a 10 out of 10. I love it.
I agree. Cuckoo was one of my favorites of the year. Loved it.
Yeah,
really enjoyed it.
It was my number one movie of the year until Strange Darling.
Yeah, Strange Darling's
very good film, but
mine hasn't moved since it was established.
The only thing I have against that,
I still love that one.
I'm not going to say any spoilers, but Strange Darling is a phenomenal film, and everybody should see it. Like, I don't care if you like these styles of movies or not, you should go see it.
Just go fucking see it.
I'm going to go.
Yeah. But I will say that I have seen other independent films try to do the similar thing, and for whatever reason, like you said earlier, that if I hadn't seen these other films, maybe I would have been more on board with it. Not that I gave it a poor, I gave it an 8.5 minimum. You know what I mean? And it's like a 9, like as far as I'm concerned, for this type of 9 or 10, even like for this story. It's probably one of the best ones that's tried to do this, but I have seen other films that did similar things. And I think that's what sticks in my brain. So I have to watch it again.
I don't disagree with that at all. I just think what it did, even though there were other attempts at it, I just think it did it the best.
Right.
So therefore it propelled it for me, because like I obviously won't say anything about it. Like it just don't read about it.
Yeah,
don't
you
look.
really
just
can't
watch it. Yeah.
Just go fucking see it, man. Yeah. Like if to command your attention, go see it. And the one thing I will say about it that we can say is the 35 millimeter print of it adds so much panache to that fucking movie with the screen crackles and the pops, and like it gives it like that tone. It's so well done.
Music.
Shout out to Giovanni Ribisi for real.
Yeah, dude.
Right, dude. He crushed it.
I seen his name on it. I was like, yeah, get the fuck out of here. Like crushed it. out of the park.
Right.
Dude, like I did not know until we were shooting our review. We were mid conversation and Luke's like, "Oh yeah, I can't believe Giovanni Ribisi did the cinematography for this." And I'm like, "Excuse the fuck out of me, what?" And I completely missed that. Like I didn't even see it. I was like, "What the hell?"
It's a whole nother world of directing or like cinematography too, because when the light and shit hits things, it's completely different on film than it would be on digital. So for him to do as well as he did, like it is really phenomenal.
He's studied with so many great directors, though. Like he's worked with Spielberg, he's worked with all kinds of people, and you could just tell with the amount of movies and role. Yeah.
Oh,
he was in acting and everything. Like, but he's one of those people who,
this
like,
is
from
his
what I've
first
heard,
cinematography.
Oh yeah, but he's one of those people who likes to get involved. Like that's something that a lot of people have always said is that he's very technical. He likes to learn. So it doesn't surprise me that he's stepping into this. I would not be surprised if he steps into doing more directing and things like that behind the camera eventually. But
it'll happen because this movie's going to take off and people are going to love it.
The only thing that I'm going to say as a recommendation for Strange Darling is either one of two things. If you haven't seen the trailer, don't watch it. Just because I don't think you need to see it. I think it's a good movie.
It though.
No, and I'm saying if you've seen the trailer, it's going to enhance the experience. But I still think movies are better when you don't see the trailer anyway. So it's like, don't see it. But like, it's one of those things that if you've seen it, you don't have to worry. It's not spoiling things for you.
Seth, my co-host on Dark Screen Society, shout out to my podcast.
Hell yeah.
He's seen it last year at Fantastic Fest.
Mm-hmm.
So I had all this pre-knowledge. Like I knew nothing about it. And he's like, listen, this movie rips. When it comes out, don't read about it. So I literally, they sent me the screener. I knew nothing about it. I knew Kyle Gallner was in it. That's it. Mm-hmm. And I watched it and I was like, wow.
He was the reason I wanted to watch it. Just Kyle from fucking The Passenger, which was fucking awesome.
Passenger fucking rips. Yeah, it's so good.
Dude, that is such an unsettling movie. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I think Strange Darling is really good. I don't think you have to worry too much. I think it's so well hidden in the movie that you could watch it 2 times and still be a little. You could see the like nuanced things. In other words, I don't want to say anything because
Thank you, Silhouetted. We appreciate it. He asks, heard of Chris Cunningham. He'd be great at horror. Says he was a music video director for Aphex Twins back in the 90s.
I remember,
and 2000s.
Come to Daddy.
What's up, DD?
Yeah, he was pushing the boundaries of CGI and shit at the time. As a matter of fact, Ryan Kruger kind of reminds me of like Aphex Twins, Sean Cunningham on a smaller budget, actually. Like if you think about it. What's up, DD?
What's happening there? I'm not too familiar with his work, so I can't comment too hard on it. But I'm always down to see that. Whenever you have somebody
MTV days, man.
Whenever you have somebody who's willing to, kind of step outside of their comfort zone and take the plunge. If anybody has like an inkling or wants to make a movie, I think like you kind of have to commit yourself to insanity like that. So you kind of have, like, if anybody has the drive to do that, then fucking do it. Like, that's how I feel.
Some of the greatest directors we've ever gotten have started out in music videos.
100%.
David Lynch makes fucking music videos. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Same with fucking David Fincher. And
you guys see the last stop in Yuma County?
Yeah.
Dude, I saw Last Stop at Fantastic Fest last year, and we got sent that. Like, this is one of the wildest stories. So, like, we got sent an offer to see that. It was one of the first movies that came across our inbox for the virtual screenings. It was in my spam folder. Had I not checked my spam folder that day, I probably would have went the whole festival and not caught it. Got it, saw that it was Jim Cummings, and I was like, I like Jim Cummings. I'll check it out. That's fine. We don't have many things right now to watch, so whatever. First movie we watched at the festival. Put it on.
Rips.
Fucking blew my mind. It was my favorite film that I saw that year at Fantastic Fest. I got to interview the director then. and then we became good buddies. So like we just talk on Instagram all the time. He's been on my show again when his movie came out. Yep,
is an
Francis
amazing human
Galupi.
being.
I love him so much. And
it's so crazy too that Fantastic Fest that he was loaded drinking, and that guy walked over to him and said, "Here, you have a phone call," and handed him the phone, and it was Sam Raimi that told him, "I love your fucking movie," and he thought it was a joke. Like he literally thought it was a joke, and that's how he stumbled into doing the Evil Dead. Shout out to Francis, because Francis is
absolutely.
I'm looking forward to his version. I think it's going to be interesting. He definitely went for the characters in that, and that's why I think Sam wanted him to do it, is because he was like, let's see what he could do with character, a lot of like crazy characters.
I can say this now because like and hopefully he doesn't watch this and thinks that I'm blabbing, but when we did we had him on because we do like spoiler reviews for new movies every once in a while, and like I had him come on to do a spoiler review for Yuma, so that way it could go up the Sunday after it came out. And he was on there, we were talking to him about his movie, and right afterwards he was like, "Hey, can I tell you guys something?" And he's just like, "Yeah." He's like, "Okay, you can't say anything, but tomorrow they're going to announce that I'm doing the new Evil Dead." And I was just like, "What the fuck?" And he told us the whole story. And did you know that they actually wanted him to do Darkman first? So they're actually trying to get a Darkman movie off the ground. And I was like, that's fucking insane. I can't believe that. And he was literally like, "I'm going to beat myself up about this, but I got to turn this down because I just don't feel like I can do the material justice." And they were just like, "Okay, well, what do you think about Evil Dead?" And then he's just like, I can do Evil Dead. And then that's how that fucking, it blows my mind that Raimi and his team wanted him so bad. They were like, "Here's a project." And he's like, "I just don't know about it." And they're like, "Okay, here's another one." Biggest horror franchise ever to some people. Like, I love Evil Dead. And it's like, what the fuck?
I've been wanting to go through an Evil Dead marathon again recently.
And it's his favorite thing.
I know. Yeah. Like, he's such a fan. And we were sitting there, we talked, because like it was funny because we had like a time limit with his publicist. And then she's like, "Well, you're done for the day. So if you want to sit here and talk," we just ended up talking for like another 45 minutes about Evil Dead, Halloween 3, and all kinds of other shit. We were just like, bro,
he loves Halloween 3.
Yeah. Oh, he does. Yep. He's one of the nicest people. Like that's one of those things where it's like, it felt like fated. It felt fated that we just fell into his film and it became such a hit. Like, it was amazing.
He's a genuine human being is what he is. He's just he doesn't have any condescending talk. Like he just feels like a guy that's fortunate to make fucking movies, man. Like, and it's really cool to hear his perspective. My kids are being nuts. So I'm probably gonna
wrap up.
Drop.
Yeah, we can wrap up here pretty soon. But yeah, I mean, we went on all kinds of different things.
You can drop if you have to go, man. Don't worry about it. Yeah,
I do, because they're starting to get stirry. Yeah,
you're good, brother. We do appreciate it.
I was very glad to meet you, dude. Nice chat.
Evan, I'm gonna follow you on YouTube anytime, any place, anywhere. I will bullshit about movies. And sorry about last week. I had some technical stuff, but I would be happy to do this anytime you guys wanted to.
Do you have Instagram? Yeah, you have Instagram. Follow me on Instagram too.
Okay, yeah,
we'll get in touch.
And
feel free. Rockin' Graves on Instagram. All right.
Yeah,
real quick, plug your podcast for any of our listeners.
Yeah, everything.
Well, I'm part of a podcast. It's called the Dark Screen Society. I am 1/4 of the Dark Screen Society, and we are on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, YouTube, everywhere, every major platform. It's going really good. I think we're on episode 17, and it's the best horror podcast on the internet so far. And I love it. You can find me at TikTok at Charlie Napalm 2, your movie guy. Chuck, you could search on my TikTok, and the same for Instagram as your_movie guy on Instagram. Is where you can find me.
I got a proposition for you at the end of for sometime soon, Chuck. So I'll write you.
There's a fucking Evil Dead ass spider in my room right now.
Hell yeah, brother.
It wouldn't take away from anything you're doing. In other words,
what is it?
I'll tell you. You'll see. You'll like it, I think. But I mean, it's just I got a couple of ideas, really.
Get it with what?
Because there's some movies that I know that you would just dive right into, and one of them we already talked about, and another idea I had. So, but
yeah,
I'm trying to do more long-winded stuff. You know what I mean? Like more spoiler stuff.
Evan is getting
interested.
Yes, sir. Yes. Yep. RGP. That's it.
Got it.
He's becoming a spider.
He's killing a spider. They eat flies. Don't be too mean.
Fuck yeah, brother.
Anyway, thanks for coming, man.
Yeah, I greatly appreciate you guys. Thank you. Yeah, anytime you need me, guys, just reach out.
Oh, absolutely. If you ever want to hop back on, let us know too, and we'll get you on, sir. All right.
Yeah, anytime. I appreciate you guys. All right,
we'll catch you later, brother. Peace. Bye. All righty. So we'll let Chuck.
Yeah, his link's down below, guys. Just so you know, there is a link down to Chuck's link tree, which has everything of his. So, explore, if you will. And
I did just want to plug this one more time, just so everybody knows, because I think we only have one entry at this moment in time. So if you guys are interested in winning 2 tickets to stream, go ahead and punch in hashtag stream tickets. I'll be doing a drawing here in just a couple of minutes. So
yeah, literally do it. You'll get 2 tickets.
Yep, 2 stream. It should be, at least in the States, I know it's going to be Wednesday and Thursday for sure. But I'm just giving you basically like a Fandango gift card so you go crazy and decide what day you want to go. So definitely do that.
Yeah, we're not leaving yet. If you want to go to the movies, by the way, there, Plemke, you should also pay attention, guys. We're gonna pick, like he said, show them. Where's the?
Oh no, it's in there. You just have to do this. You punch.
I found it.
Boom. Yeah, hashtag stream tickets. So go ahead and put that in there if you want to enter.
And we're gonna draw one randomly.
Yes, we will. It's got a whole thing in there for it. So. Yeah, but one of the things I was going to say, since we'll give this another few minutes to have people enter, is for James Wan's Creature from the Black Lagoon. I was giving it a lot of thought, and I kind of feel like the only other person, I have a short list, but really I should say the 2 people that I'd like to maybe see tackle this material would be Alexander Aja. I'd like to see him maybe tackle Creature from the Black Lagoon. And Greg McLean, the guy who did Wolf Creek and Rogue and all that. I feel like they would knock that out of the park.
Wouldn't be a bad choice, I think.
Yeah, no, I think I really think Greg McLean would do well with it, especially if they kind of keep it to the same tones and the same kind of story as the original, where they go off into the jungles and they're kind of on that ship. And they're doing that. It's like I feel like he could knock that out of the park.
Can you imagine if Demian Rugna did a fucking Black Lagoon?
I feel like we say Demian Rugna for any franchise.
I know, because he's such the anomaly, right? I feel like if he did it, it would be like very Lovecraft, like the waters, this thing came up on shore, and then at the end of the movie would open up to Cthulhu or some crazy shit. You know what I mean?
I would I'd go absolutely insane for it for sure.
Does it have to be all caps, by the way?
I don't think it matters. I think as long as it's hashtag, I think it's good. But if you want to, go ahead and throw another one in there. It's not it if you've already entered once, it won't do multiple. So you're good. You don't have to worry about overlapping.
It won't cancel you either, so don't worry.
Nope, won't cancel you, won't overlap. So it's smarter. But are there, just to give people another couple of minutes, you guys want to touch on one more quick story?
Yeah. Just let's talk about something.
What do we got?
Give them some time to type it in and stuff. Plus, I like hanging out. I miss you guys. I don't really hang out with anybody.
I know it feels weird because we had all these we had a bunch of
dude. All I do is fucking put my nose to the grindstone. I don't even have time to sleep. I don't have time to hang out with my girlfriend. I got nothing, dude. So hanging out is a nice getaway a little bit, and I get to talk about what I want.
Yeah, dude, totally.
I'm sorry. It's just really. Hey, Evan, why don't you tell us about your little spider thing going on?
Yeah, what
is going on?
I was just sitting here, and Maddox got my attention, and she points to the carpet, and there's a fucking big ass thick spider. So I don't know what it is. So I went out. I got a candle thing. I'm like, oh, I'll just catch it in my candle, and I went over, and it fucking Flash Gordoned away. That thing was fast, and now it's gone behind the couch that she's sitting on.
Maddox is gonna wake up with a creature on her face when she
was not making a pleased face there.
I I would love to, Crystal. I'd love to come, but I don't have any family in Atlanta anymore. I used to have people in Augusta, but yeah, I'd have to figure all that out. But yeah, I'm actually going to Tennessee. I haven't mentioned this on the channel yet, but I won't be available this weekend. So I don't know if there'll be a list or anything coming out. I might see if Luke can put one out for us.
Artie, I'm not going to read your question out loud, but yes, I have heard that.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, you're doing panel. Hell yeah. Crystal's doing some
holy
panels
shit,
there.
Crystal.
Dude,
that's a lot,
amazing.
actually.
Hell
dude,
yeah, brother.
that's
Good
like
job.
real life, like what we're doing right now. That's intimidating, man. I'm proud. Shit.
We got
she's an actress. Panels, she's used to that shit.
Yeah. Crystal's doing panels. Fucking Chuck and Room for Scream and Slasher Talk, they're all doing panels. When are we gonna go do a panel? When are we taking Beyond the Splatter Graves to a convention?
When we blow up, when people like
let's take it to let's do a live show at Fantastic Fest. That'll be our first.
There you go.
We should headline it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We're in good with the folks over there. We can talk to Brad and be like, please, sir.
Yeah.
Just give us like give us like a 2 a.m. fucking slot, one that nobody will show up to. We'll show up. We'll talk. We'll do the whole thing.
We'll talk. We'll do it. Yeah.
By the way, so we got a few things that we can just mention. They're not like long discussions or anything.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple of things that are coming out, and then we can wrap up with what we got coming up so everybody knows and they can look out for it. First of all, we got Teacup, which is streaming on October 10th to Peacock, which is who is it? Why it just flew out of my head. James Wan's new. Is it an anthology or is it just like a story with a lot of different stories in it?
I think it's an anthology. That's what I heard, at least. But
the trailer kind of is misleading, though, so I don't know. But anyway, it says Teacup follows a disparate group of people in Royal Georgia who must come together. And there we go. So it is a story within stories within stories. Must come together in the face of a mysterious threat to survive, inspired by the New York Times bestselling novel Stinger by Robert McCammon. So that's interesting for Halloween. Might be something that you might want to watch. We got word about. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say that's one that I assume they will send to virtual screen. They usually send the TV stuff and streaming stuff to virtual press for Fantastic Fest. So I'm hoping that I can get to see those episodes and do a review on them. So
I want to go so bad, but I feel like I'm going to miss out if I don't. But then it's like I'm doing too much. I need to fucking do other things.
Hey, you crushed Fantasia, brother. You can do this.
Yeah, Ted was really nice to me. He was like, dude, thank you, man. That was a lot of stuff. I was like, I know. I wish there was more eyes on it. He said, it happens, but you got a lot of eyes.
It's that, and then I want to see Apartment 7A is also going to be premiering there.
Baby thing.
Yeah, so I'm curious to check that out and see if it's any good.
Yeah.
I have no mouth, I must scream. The game.
Isn't it a story, like a short story, like a creepypasta?
You might be right. Yeah.
I got one.
A novel.
Can we talk about this real quick? The fucking Nightmare on Elm Street is getting its 4K release finally.
Uncut.
What does
that mean, by the way?
I don't know.
That's what I was wondering. Like, is that a thing that we have already, or is this a new cut of Elm Street that's never been seen before?
I figured like one of you guys would know because I was never aware that there was a.
I've watched Elm Street my whole life. I've always seen one cut.
You know what it is? It could be because it's this is a British release. It's a UK release.
Mm-hmm.
There may be some differences between what they released back then and today. You know what I mean?
Oh, Jesus. I just found it. You guys are not going to believe this.
It's a sex scene with Freddy.
Oh, no. It's much worse than that. It's
God.
The uncut version includes. Now hold on to your horses here, guys. Hold on to your seats.
Okay.
You're not gonna believe this.
2 minutes of scenery.
8 seconds.
Hey.
Of unseen footage.
But you don't know what that 8 seconds could be.
Sometimes they can make a pretty big difference.
Blood. It's it's gonna be violence related.
They could flash Freddy's dong or something. We don't know.
Good.
It could like make it epic, you know.
What if it completely
It's a wet dream now.
What if
it's
it
not
completely
even
recontextualizes all of our understanding of the lore of the Elm Street franchise? These 8 seconds are what has been missing to tie it all together. They released this cut, and then we're like, "Why I never realized that before?"
It's the cut version,
the most important part of the
Andy's
story
cut.
that's never been released. Yeah.
Sorry. All right, I'll stop.
Jesus Christ. You got Alex on the circumcision train, and now he's not going to stop. I wish WB would allow. Yes, silhouetted. I remember when
Supercut.
Those fucking. Do you guys remember when that box set, like all those images started floating around, like in 2022, just after the Friday the 13th one had come out, and people thought it was legit for a minute there, but it was. I never got clarification if it was just fan made, or if it was a legit box set that they couldn't get approved.
Which one again?
Nightmare on Elm Street. Scream Factory was going to do a similar release to like what they did with the Friday the 13th one.
I don't know, but it's 40 years, and that's why it's been bubbling lately. That's the franchise everybody wants right now.
Mm-hmm.
So there may be a new movie. There may be all kinds of stuff coming out. Who knows? But I definitely think that of all the franchises that have been shit on, I think that Freddy's, the Nightmare on Elm Street fucking set is not good. It's a set.
yeah, I have
but
it.
It's like, hey, I put it in a box for you. Go ahead. The disc bouncing around, but here you go. Fuck you. Every fucking version of the movie is like done like differently. Like they didn't like do the same process for each film. It's not been handled, so it's going to be a really expensive one to do.
Good point, Necromechanimal. That would really change that
Jesus
movie.
Christ. Don't get me started on that.
Yeah, the eye thing. That would change a lot. Alex, did I tell you I finally got The Wailing? Maddox bought me a copy of The Wailing.
Yeah, you sent us a text.
The Korean movie.
South Korean movie?
Oh, The Wailing. Yeah.
I think that you recommended it to me a while back. And
actually, I think he might have. Or we were talking about it.
Anyway, I have that now, so I'll watch it.
It's definitely Japanese. There is a lot of different things that happen in that movie, so it is a very hodgepodge of like good in a way.
Okay, I may need to start wrapping up here, guys.
All right, let's do the giveaway.
Yeah,
I just gotta run this real quick, and then
we'll, wait. Huh. Let's do the thing, and then we'll do the giveaway.
What thing?
What do you got going on, Evan? What do you got that you need that people should be on the lookout for?
My next little while, I've got some pretty big videos going on. So it's been fairly slow recently, but I got some big videos coming up. Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula is dropping tomorrow. Then I've got the Texas Chainsaw Massacre for the 50th anniversary of that movie, which is one of my favorite horror movies of all time. So I'm very excited to be sharing that. I haven't got all of September figured out, but towards the end of September, we're going into Terrifier 2 and Midsummer, and I will announce it here so that I can commit to it and force myself to actually do it.
All right, I like it.
October 7th, the Lake Mungo video is coming.
Hell yeah.
I am finally going to fucking do the Lake Mungo video October 7th. So... which scares the hell out of me because that's one I've had on the schedule like 4 times and I just keep delaying it. But I'm committing to
exclusive. I was really desperately trying to get that ready.
Yeah. I got plenty more videos coming up later in the year. The Witch is also in October, so I'm excited for that. We've got plenty of stuff coming up.
Okay.
Hell yeah. Fuck
what about you, Evan?
I just spoke, dude.
I mean, sorry. What about you, other guy? No, I'm Dylan. I'm sorry.
We've got some fun stuff. So we are also working on doing some Terrifier stuff leading into next month and into October. We're doing kind of a retrospective, which is going to be right now it's looking like it's going to lean into 4 parts, but I'm trying to whittle it down to 3 because I think it's more manageable. But we're going to be basically going through just all of the Terrifier history and everything from the short films all the way up to
the same thing. You fuck.
Well, yeah, you can't monopolize video essays, my boy. I'm sorry. we're getting a little something extra on those. I've been really working behind the scenes to kind of make something happen. It's still not a go, but it's getting more likely. So that's all I can say. And as far as
just a note, Dylan promises they'll be better than Rockland Graves'.
Yes.
So.
Yes, you heard it here.
I don't know if I want to live up to that.
You heard it here first, folks.
Things that I won't be stealing from Evan, though. I do have a couple of lists coming up. I have a fun one. I know we did a poll last week on future lists. I had a bunch of fun ones on there. Like the one I was really hoping I could do soon was the Goosebumps one, but that came in second place to the most brutal, underrated horror films. So I have that list ready to go. I was thinking about doing it this week, but I am going on vacation, so it's kind of bunching it up. Plus, I took a big swing and did the alien ranking video, so that kind of took a lot out of me. So I'll probably have to delay that. But other than that, we have a lot of great stuff. We have Fright Fest. Alex is also doing that, so we're getting some movies from there. And Fantastic Fest right around the corner. So lots more reviews coming, and some more horror hot takes as well.
I am going to be doing a lot of the Fright Fest, like he mentioned. That's going like every single one of the movies is slated to release on the 24th, the 25th, and the 26th. And so some of them I can put up now, but most of them are all 24th, 25th, 26th.
Right.
So be on the lookout. I am not sure how I'm going to handle that, but there's like 7 or 8 movies that I've got going. What the fuck is that?
That's my girlfriend's bunny.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Jupiter.
When you were talking about her bunny before, I was thinking of something completely different.
No, I meant an actual bunny rabbit.
I'm kidding. No, I knew what you meant. I knew what you meant. I'm just being silly. I'm just being silly.
Jupiter. Like from Hills Have
That
Eyes?
bunny
Like
is fucking cute as fuck, dude.
He's
Is it really?
Cookie? What? No, it's not actually from the Hills Have Eyes.
Okay. I love that Alex and I both had to do the same exact double take there. Hold on.
No,
That's
he's
pretty
a
badass.
sweetheart. He's a Sookie baby.
Dude, I've never seen a bunny do that like that.
Why is Evan cuddling a spider?
Yeah, so he did piss and shit on me earlier today, and he did also chew on my stomach while I was fighting the final boss of Shadow of the Erd Tree, so kind of fuck him. But
There's
oh no,
the
that
caveat.
just means that you're his now. He owns you.
Is that what that means?
Okay, so let me get back to what I'm doing,
Anyway.
Mr. Fucking Steal the Fucking Show bunny piece of shit. No, so I hear some of the movies I got coming out, and literally I picked these that are mine. I've hand selected them. I went through like 100 fucking movies and watched every single trailer, watch anything that was written about it, and went through this in like 4 hours one day. And we got Hellhole, which is coming to Shudder, Hostile Dimensions, which I think you put up one already, right?
No, I'm about to. It'll be.
Yeah.
I just saw Hellhole though.
Oh,
It's an independent film from the UK called Hostile Dimension found footage. I got Test Screening, which has been getting a lot of like really big stuff, like people talking about it. The Demon, which looks really crazy, like Lovecraftian. So that's coming. Traumatica, which looks like a witch crazy. I don't even know what, because there was no trailer, but it sounds insane about witches. I got Strange Darling, Video Vision, which is like a really super indie. Members Club, which is a comedy about a male strip club that goes bad and they get chased by a witch in the fucking male strip club, and it looks ridiculous. I had to watch it because I was just too curious. But aside from that, we also have Scared Shitless on the 26th that I will be putting up. A lot of these are going to probably go over to other days because it's a lot of fucking work. But fortunately, with like movies in the festivals, I feel like you can do like a 5 to 6 minute video and you're good. You know what I mean? So just be on the lookout if you could. It really helps me because I'm putting out so much. YouTube has said, "Hey, fuck you. We're not going to show your shit to anybody." And it's sad because there's a lot of really good stuff that I got to see. So anyway, on with the fucking bunny.
Quit being a baby, Alex. Jesus Christ. God, you're so fucking poor you for having to watch all these cool movies early, man. God. No, I feel you, dude. That's why we don't do raw reactions when we do festivals. We just do the basic intro because it's like this just needs to be concise. Like,
Right.
When I do
'cause
reviews
now-
for new release movies, I never put the intro on.
because we tried to do that at Fantastic Fest last year, and it like totally bogged us down. So we were just like, let's just from now on, festivals are their own thing. We're doing our own just short videos too. Like we
It has
try to do
taken
10 minutes
so
or
much
less.
work. It takes so much planning that my little ADD brain can't fucking handle. Just kidding.
Plus, like you
Actually,
can't
it helps
like,
it, but
man. Plus, like, not to get into all this, but like if you don't have some of the same materials and access that you do for like a movie that's about to release, as far as like trailers and other media for it. So it's like you only have so much that you can show. So it's like you got to kind of give it there. But why don't we wrap up with the stream tickets giveaway? We got 5 entries.
Who's the wait, before you do it, one last time, we'll give you 10 seconds to do it.
Hashtag stream tickets.
Hashtag stream tickets, all one word. If you haven't done it already, you can get entered to win 2 tickets to the movie stream at your location in the United States with a Fandango card, which is to pretty much any theater. That is per Dylan, who is fucking super cool for doing that.
I just want this movie to get the support it deserves. And I love the people behind it. And again, it just breaks my fucking heart to see that theaters are considering, you know, basically bumping their slot because of another film that I absolutely love doing really well, which is Alien Romulus. But, you know, you got to support indie horror when you can.
It's mid.
And
maybe 1 out of 10.
Love that movie. All right, we're sending it. 1, 2, 3, and let's see.
I get it. Oh, because and it's me.
I would literally shit.
Oh,
SA Skies. SA Skies. Congratulations.
Congrats.
If you are still in the chat, SA Skies, please reach out to me. You can find our email on both of our Instagram and our YouTube channel, as well as you can get it if you just reach out to me on Instagram. That's probably easiest, honestly. And it
wasn't that long ago. It was only
let's see.
I hope I saw their comment when they were typing earlier, but I haven't seen them written in a while.
10:59. So yeah, I'll give them a minute to just at least respond. If they don't, then I can honestly, I'll probably just
do
it again.
Yeah. I may need to check, guys.
Can you hear me?
I got to be up really early to drive her to work, so I may have to peace out.
You're good.
All right. Are we doing next Monday or are we doing 2 weeks from now?
We're doing next Monday.
Are we?
You said so. Remember, because we have to keep on schedule with what's
we do, don't we?
SA Skies is here. He's in chat.
What's up, SA Skies? Yes, if you could reach out to me, the Splattercast Instagram or our email, which I'll just drop the email in there.
Tell us something you would. Or no, you can't do that, can you?
Have a good night, lads. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in.
Appreciate
it as always. We will see you next week.
See you, man.
Goodbye.
See ya.
And how is he going to reach out to you? So, like, how can we work around this so that SA Skies gets to you easy?
I am putting my email in there right now.
Oh, okay. So anybody can do it. Just claim your SA Skies, and we're good to go. I'm just kidding.
This is for a movie theater. Yes.
Do you want to give us the first part of your email, and then we can that way he knows?
Yeah, if you could just give me like the first 4 letters of it, that would be fine. That's why it's like usually I like people to reach out over Instagram if they can, because like
right, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But
because not everybody has the same names. You know what I mean? Like it's like all over the place. I promise I won't do it.
No, I think everybody in here is pretty.
Crystal, you got to come on sometime and hang out. I want to hang out and like do a video with you. Christina, my girlfriend, and I have been watching your videos, so She likes your decor stuff, by the way.
Yeah, we did she was also a part of the werewolf video on Daniel's channel.
Keep watching the skies. The sexual assault skies. Oh, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. That's a terrible thing to say about someone's name. I apologize. I'm sorry. I'm totally down with anything. Let me know. Sweet. I will definitely hit you up. I mean, I don't know what I want to do yet, but if you got some ideas, we could do a top list, or I just like to shoot the shit, really. And I think it'd be fun to like kind of do a video like that. So could be spoiler talk. I don't care.
Yeah, I kind of wish that YouTube.
Thank you for laughing, essays, guys. By the way.
Actually, I wonder if there's a way I can privately message them.
Hey, it could be silhouetted armor too. He's doubling up, SA Skies, silhouetted armor, animator.
Very, very true.
Sneaky.
Okay.
Perfect. Yeah. No, I think we should do a deep dive for some old shit, like you and I should do, because I know you like that old shit, and I would love to do that. I don't even care if it gets 20 views. We're just going to have fun and people will appreciate it.
Hell yeah.
And not because of you, because, it's some old movie, because.
Okay. Hey, that's no problem, essays, guys. If you would like, if you want to select another chatter, someone in the chat, that would probably be the most fair.
Yeah.
Or
we can just roll it again.
Another person, yeah, or we could roll it again.
Let's roll it again. That's the fairest way, I think.
Okay, so whoever wants to do this one more time.
Yeah, let's do it. And then
I'm sorry. I can do another draw. I'll just do another draw.
That's what I mean. Another draw. Yeah,
it's all right. So nobody has to re-enter. Artie Pavlov, you have one.
There you go, buddy.
Artie, if you are still here, my boy. I know that we follow each other, I believe, on a couple socials.
See, he just activated his Insta too, half a year ago.
Let me see.
But yeah, that was nice of you, Skies.
Thank you, Skies. We appreciate it.
And I feel you, man. I haven't been going out to the theater as much anymore.
Just remind me sometime when we're in here doing a giveaway or something, and I owe you one. Maybe I can send you a digital code or something for something, because sometimes we get those for giveaways.
I get a lot. Actually, I'm getting something for the Quiet Place.
Oh, are you? They're giving you quiet. They're giving you.
Yeah, when it comes to digital, I guess I don't even know. Although they never hit me back.
It was a long con. It just paid off. Hell yeah, brother. Actually, I believe I follow you on Instagram, so let me see. Because if you are, I'm just gonna. Yeah, there you are.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. We're doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes sometimes. Yeah. She's doing like movies and stuff too. So, and 6-panel fucking conventions,
right,
apparently.
Dude? Cool. All right.
Who am I? I'm nobody, apparently. I'm just kidding.
You're somebody to me. Artie, I just sent you a little hello. So we'll work out the details. I'm gonna sign off though here. So just hit me back on here when you get a chance. And then I will get you a Fandango gift card. Basically, I think, let me see, I still have everything up here. Yes, if you just send me your email address over Instagram, Artie, I can send it to you. And I'm doing $35 because I think they're like $15 a ticket. So,
okay, I got a question for you guys. Do you think the name Horror Fwens is bad? Is that sort of making fun of somebody that you know what I mean? You say Fwens, like FWENDS.
I don't think so.
Because that would be a fun little name to do something like on like a weekly basis or something. Because I've been thinking about doing some lives again. I miss them. And if I could get somebody to do lives with me like once a week, it could be random people or everybody, I would do it again. I just don't want to do it by myself anymore.
If I didn't work
horrible twins. Well, that might be a little too much.
If I didn't work a day job, I would totally be doing weekly podcasts or weekly lives like this. I would love to do that.
Thanks, Crystal. It means something to me. I promised I wasn't gonna. No, I'm kidding. All right.
And you see what Sky said there? They said, by the way, Void, I love your videos, specifically your Violent by Nature review.
Wait, which one?
Violent by Nature.
Oh, I love your. Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry. I was like trying to get confused. Oh, the one about the nature. What is it? Why am I getting? Is that the name of it? Violent by Nature?
I think maybe they mean in a violent nature.
In a violent nature. That's what I'm saying. Okay. Well, thank you.
Heck yeah.
Look at this. Artie's big smile on there, hiding behind the cat.
Hey, he earned it. Well, you won something today, and we definitely owe you one. Like we said, if I get an extra digital code or something, I will make sure to send it your way.
I have a giveaway that I'm going to be doing on my haul video, by the way. Someone sent me a bunch of stuff, and some of I have duplicates of because I have a huge collection, and they told me I could do whatever the fuck I want with it, which is super nice of them twice. And so it's a big horror franchise box sets that I've got. So there could be a few things in there that you might like. So be sure to watch my haul video called the franchise haul video, something like that.
Hell yeah. That's awesome. I love doing giveaways.
Yeah.
Especially because
I hate mailing them, but I love doing giveaways. I just hate the mailing part because
I love
you never know if it's going to get there, It's like
I love when the studios do it and then you just have to give them the information and they can handle all the shipping. So because I also get intimidated by that.
It freaks me out. Christina does all that stuff. I can't do that shit. She's the organized one. Anyway, but yeah, do you want to mention anything else and then we'll wrap it up so everybody can go home? And
I am just sending Artie his gift card here real quick. So I just want to make sure everything goes through.
There's also a card in there from Adam and Eve. And if you need anything in there, you can.
Dude, I want to be sponsored by Bad Dragon so bad. Just because.
He's a Meat Canyon fan. That's why he's saying that.
That's why. Exactly. I want to sell dragon dildos.
I'm only 2 degrees separation now from him.
I am jealous.
Now that I spoke to Rob Jabaz from The Sadness, him and they're together are like good friends.
You need to have him link us.
I'll take Adam and Eve and Bad Dragon. Tentacles. I don't think they sell those kind of things there at Adam and Eve. They're a little more old school.
No, they're old school. They're into the
classic sexual toys. Did you need a nice plug?
Jesus.
The old Ironside will do you well.
Hold on.
Basic. Yeah, pretty much. Adam and Has-Been Hotel. Yes. One of the guys I watch on TikTok does the couple voices on that show.
I was so confused by that show.
His name is Jaden something. A political TikToker, but he's really funny. He does a really funny Trump impersonation.
Hell yeah.
And it's really funny for both sides. So it's like, hey, if it's not broke, you know what I mean? It's still fucking twitching on the ground. I'll pick it up, blow it off, and get ready for the rocket. You know what I mean?
I'm sorry. This is sending me through like a bunch of hoops.
By the way, if you guys ever hear that voice from me, that's a Bucko the Clown voice that I used to do on my live streams. And I've thought of bringing him out to do like a video, like Bucko reviews.
I said you should have. That would have
Yeah,
been so
and
comforting for me.
it's a lot,
Yeah.
it's a lot because like one of the first times I put that mask on, I literally put it on and never took it off for the day, and then I live streamed, and Christina was like, "Dude, I felt like there was a different person in this house." She was like, "It was kind of sexy in a way."
Jesus.
She was like, "It was weird because I was like this Boston fucking dude, talking like this." I did it for like an hour and a half on fucking live, just making jokes the whole time, and it was wild. I think.
All right. Artie, I sent it through. If you could let me know real quick if you got it, but if not, that's fine. Just shoot me a message just so I know. And yeah, that's everything. So congrats, Artie, again. Thank you, Skies, so much for being so cool and passing that on.
You guys rock.
Yeah, you guys are all awesome. Seriously.
I mean, fuck yeah.
Fuck you, goddamn.
Oh, now I know why I'm getting so fucking buck wild at the end of this.
Yeah.
You
tired?
No. I took something a little while ago, and yeah.
Oh.
I was like, why am I getting so amped up right now? Like,
I got you. Alrighty, fellers. I am gonna sign off. I'm gonna go to bed. I have to go to my stupid day job tomorrow and get yelled at about tools. So thank you guys so much. This has been great. I am so happy that we got to do this again. I always love when we can hop on, chat some horror, especially because Chuck, great guest, loved him. Absolutely.
Yeah, he's great to have
every
on.
guest we've had has been great. Crystal was great.
Oh,
Jake was great.
We're gonna have a director on from the movie Do Not Disturb from last year. Yeah, it's the one with the pink cover, pink swirly cover about cannibalism and relationships, and it's really good.
Which week?
Highly recommend you guys watch that movie before we have him on in 2 weeks.
That was 2 weeks from now. So
3 weeks from now.
3 weeks. So yeah, that would be what, the 16th?
I think it's the 12th or 13th. Hold on.
It would have to be the 16th or the 9th.
I got confused. So let me see. It would be September 2nd.
Oh, so it's much sooner than I thought. All right, that works for me.
Yeah.
So, all righty. Cool. So, what's great about that is I actually... Oh, no, that's fine. I'm off that day, too. And I'm off the next day because
he's Mr.
I got invited to... Oh, definitely watch Last Stop in Yuma County. I actually got invited to see Beetlejuice. So I'm going to go see that a couple days before it comes out and get a review out. So
be careful.
Warner Brothers said, isn't scary.
It's a scary one to talk about.
I'm a very,
There's half the audience is going to hate you for that one.
I appreciate, what's his face?
I know. I don't know. We don't have to talk about it. It's fine. It's
I don't
too much of a talk
movie
right now.
So yeah. So all right, we're gonna wrap this up. So thank you, folks. Have a good night.
Much love. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. I wrote this down so I wouldn't forget it. And look at me, I'm forgetting it. Anyway, as always, long live the void. Stay scared. And thanks for stopping by. We hope you've enjoyed your stay.